Welcome, Pewter Report readers, viewers, and listeners to a brand new edition of the Pewter Gameday Show, brought to you by BetUS. It is week 3 of the NFL season for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they're looking to go 3-0 to begin the season as they take on the Denver Broncos in what should be a very winnable game for the Bucs. I'm your host, Matt Matera. Joined with me is my fellow colleague and co-host of PewterReport.com. It is Josh Capo. Josh, how you doing? How we feeling going into this game?
You know, Matt, I'm feeling, well, we're not going to talk about yesterday. I had USF on the money line. I had USF plus 17, and they had a very good first half of football and then forgot to come out at halftime. So, but we talk about three-peats all the time. The Kansas City Chiefs are looking to go for a three-peat this year. I think the three-peat nobody ever talks about is going 3-0, and the Bucs are looking to three-peat to start this season, and I'm excited to see whether they can do it against a team, as you said, they very much should win against this week.
Yeah, it's a game that a lot of what we talked about is the Bucs not overlooking their opponent because, you know, some of the other games they have coming up on the docket certainly will get the attention of Tampa Bay. So it's important that they take care of business here because they have some tough sledding coming up. You know, obviously the Eagles, we'll see how they look today, but they're certainly no slouch. Like they have talent on their team. And then, of course, the big divisional matchups coming up with the Falcons and the Saints as well. By the way, shout out to all the Pewter people that are watching us right now, including Angelina S., who says, "Let's go. Handle your business today, Bucs. Don't be sleeping on Denver. Pedal to the metal. Don't let them hang around." Good morning, Sunshine from Q's44. Hello, fellow Pirates, says Grace Point, another Pewter Report YouTube channel member. Cincy Kid back in the mix saying Tampa. And yeah, so we.
Hey.
Yeah.
I think that's what I was supposed to
well
say.
Done. Well done. Yeah, so Josh and I will be rocking and rolling throughout this whole game, which should start momentarily. We will have Aaron Jacobson on again from the Pat and Aaron show. And TKras Krasniqi, a.k.a. TKras, joins us for, start of the fourth quarter around then. So keeping the same rotation that, helped the Bucs upset the Detroit Lions. So hopefully get some more magic with that.
We are the straw that stirs their drink. It's a proven fact.
Actually. As Reggie Jackson once said. I almost said Andrew Jackson. That would have been quite the political post. Yeah, so Pewter people, those that have watched the show before know we get very, interactive with the game, with the Pewter people themselves. So super chats are welcome. Obviously, they get to cut the line. But yeah, we'll get to a lot of comments and everything during the game as well. Looks like, actually, we can't tell now with the kicker being so much further away. It looks like the Bucs are going to get the ball first. But as Josh pointed out last week, we don't watch with our volume because, we're listening to each other. So please feel free to chime in if there's anything we're unsure of or maybe made a mistake about with as far as like referees or, things that are said on the broadcast. Please let us know.
There's a face that Bucs fans have enjoyed for many, many years. Sean Payton. Looks like the Bucs will actually be kicking off.
Okay, there you go. Defense up first. Yeah, Angelina says Denver first. Will says Andrew Jackson would have been a mythical pull.
Agreed.
And oh my God, the New York Giants. I got Red Zone on the other TV. The New York Giants just fumbled the opening kickoff. So Brian Daboll is already known to be an angry guy. I'm sure won't be too happy either.
Someday I'm going to have you explain to me why New York football teams have struggled so much historically.
Yeah, wow. We may need a year to break that down. All right, Broncos starting shotgun. Nix has time, throwing it down the field. Looked like a push off, but Cortland Sutton makes the catch. So that's a first down for Denver.
Yeah, it looks like the Bucs started out in man coverage right off the bat. I think they want to challenge Nix. I didn't really see a push there.
Yeah, yes. Looking at the replay, just some hand fighting, really.
Yeah. Last week, it took Jamel Dean about a quarter to figure out he was playing football. So maybe just a part of his process. First quarter, wake up. Second, third, fourth quarter, eat.
Okay, now Broncos go play action. They blitz Jordan Whitehead. Nix has time and eventually gets it off to the fullback. Tackle made by Zion McCollum and Yaya Diaby, but that's another chunk play for Denver, getting about 7 yards on a first down play action.
Yeah. Something really interesting, Matt. I thought Denver, their right tackle just went on IR, Mike McGlinchey.
Injured reserve, yeah, Mike. Yep.
Yeah. I thought they would have gone with Matt Pert, who's a veteran, former New York Giant, ironically enough, in his stead. But they are turning to a second-year undrafted free agent, Alex Polzecki. I'm going to butcher his name, and I apologize. And Zion gets burned.
Yeah.
And he may be hurt.
That's Reynolds down the field, and right away the Broncos are in scoring business. So Bucs starting out a little sleepy, and looked like Zion was a tad bit shaken up at the end of that play, but we'll see. Maybe just his ego.
Interesting game plan so far. This is the second time in 3 plays that the Bucs have gone man coverage here out of the gate. Yeah. They were heavy zone against Denver. Heavy zone week 1 against Washington as well. Doesn't seem to be working.
Right. I don't hate them trying out man to man, but if they're just going to get torched on every play, then obviously, because correct me if I'm wrong, but like part of the reason of going man to man is because they wanted to send that early pressure and mess with Bo Nix.
Yeah, I mean that's. I think it's probably because Nix is expecting zone and he's a rookie, and you just want to show him looks that he may not be prepared for. But I mean, these aren't man beater routes that the Bucs are losing on. Like, this is just straight up, you got to stop a fade. Like, you're in press coverage, get a better jam. These aren't this isn't mesh. This isn't a switch or a pick route. Like, this is just straight up one-on-one getting beat.
Yeah. MJRVI says, when is the defense going to go on the field? Pete says, if the Bucs were a fantasy team, they would be called Injuries Are Us. Nick's going to scramble to his right. There was a penalty on Denver to make it 1st and 15. And let's remember, the Bucs, their calling card last week against Detroit was that they were the stingiest of all stingy in the red zone, and forcing the Lions to mostly kick field goals. So, making sure that's the case with Denver obviously will be very important. Second and 13, 11:55 to go in the first quarter. Nick's thrown to the left side, caught. Dean, TKras Smith, a couple others make the tackle. That was the running back that made the catch, Williams. And they'll set up a 3rd and short.
And you saw Dean at that point was 10 yards off. And if you're going to give that much cushion, especially to a running back, you got to be able to pinch faster on the hitch.
Mm-hmm. This is also the first time this season where the Bucs defense has started. The Bucs have gotten the ball the first 2 times and immediately went up. But yeah, 3rd and 2. See if the Bucs can get off the field. You got Nix under center. He's going to fake the handoff, roll out to his right. He's just going to run in. I don't know what Sebastian ain't that. Wow. So touchdown Broncos.
Yeah, he made Jordan Whitehead wrong every which way. Whitehead trying to pick up the flat route so that he didn't have an easy pass in there. I want to say, was that? Yeah, that was Servassier Dennis at that point has to bite down. That was a good job pointing that out.
Right, because you had two guys there. If Dennis immediately goes after Nix, you at least force Nix to either, juke him and get to the end zone or get rid of the football. And, at that point, if they make the catch, they make the catch. But, ugly start for the Bucs defense. unable to get stops, and Denver takes advantage, giving confidence to a rookie quarterback early.
Yep. Matt, I just want to give you a warning. I just got an update from my internet provider. They've identified a network performance issue in my area. They're actively working to fix it by about 3:05, but it could cause service disruption. So you may lose me here. Much like the Bucs lost the first drive on defense.
I don't want to lose you.
Well, I appreciate that. I don't want to be lost. I'm not
a
very good navigator.
We'll keep that in mind in case something happens. Lucas Petit says, why is Dean playing so far off every play? Well, I think that first deep play kind of maybe, I don't want to say shell shock, but, kind of got in his head a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, first play, he was in press man. I want to say the second one where McCollum got beat, he was most likely in a very similar situation. And then when they got into the red zone, they went to off zone. He wasn't the only one. It's how it's supposed to be played. The issue isn't how far off he was to begin with. The issue was that he wasn't triggering down quick enough on that hitch route.
Let's keep in mind, still a long way to go. As Tommy says, it's the first drive of the game. Chill, LOL. And Cincy Kid, showing some positivity, says time for Baker to come back down the field. Wow. Okay. Some news. I'm just seeing came out about an hour ago. Tom Brady is going to be back in Tampa next week, calling Bucs Eagles. That's a lot of fun. By the way, we do have a Broncos fan in the comments. Thanks for joining, Alex. We welcome all fans, even if you're a fan of the road team. Who says, he's talking about Bo Nick, says he's fast and everybody underestimates him. It's not a trap game. Y'all got to see how Baker responds, and Lucas Pup is right. I heard Sean Payton talking about that.
Appreciate you joining us, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. We welcome fans of the road team. I mean, obviously keep the trash talk to a, not the most vicious of levels. Yeah. Have fun with it, but, no personal threats. Spit Guys says, holy crap, the defense looks disastrous on that first drive. I mean, they'll make adjustments. Yeah, that was very surprising on St. Dennis. Sean Tucker's going to return this kick. Shout out Q's44. And he gets back to the 25.
What I liked about Tucker there that you didn't see if you watched the Bucs a couple years ago when Jalen Darden was their kick returner is as he got to the sideline, he actually turned upfield and in to avoid going out of bounds. Darden seemed to have a magnet on the sidelines that drew him in as soon as he caught the ball.
Yeah, shout out Q's44, getting some Sean Tucker reps. All right, Bucs start the game with Baker under center. He's going to hand it off to Rachaad White. And the struggles in the run game, at least for one play, continues for the Buccaneers as he gets a gain of 0. $28-3 says, WTF. It's early. Everybody take a deep breath.
But you can see Denver's already trying to create a mismatch on the defensive line. They've put Zach Allen, their best solo pass rusher, over the top of Justin School, the Bucs' backup right tackle, who's having to start in Luke Gedecke's stead. And they're going to try and test School after he had a very, very bad game against the Lions last week.
Yeah, and another job well done by Denver. They were playing the zone on this play, but They were reading the eyes of Baker Mayfield as well. Baker tried to, scramble, and we all know what he did a week ago, but they did a good job of forcing him to stay at the line of scrimmage and ultimately just throw the football away versus extending it. So a 3rd and 10 for the Bucs coming up. Mayfield in shotgun, gets the snap, has time, dumps it off to Rachaad White. He's going to have to make several players miss. He does not. And that's a 3 and out for the Bucs offense. So a disastrous start for Tampa Bay.
The protection was good on that. It was just the back 7 that obviously tied up the Bucs receivers and didn't allow anybody to be open because Mayfield had plenty of time to throw on that. The protection held up.
We'll get our first look at Jake Camarda, who, has had his struggles early in the season. Kick is up. That's a good one.
But the
coverage is not good. Several misses. Sean Tucker ends up this is the Sean Tucker special teams game, apparently.
Well, Camarda finally gets a good punt off, and it's like they're cursed. They're just cursed.
Not the ideal start that the Buccaneers wanted. I'm going to plug in my laptop charger, and I'll be back on in 2.5 seconds.
All right, I will try and fill the void. So drop it in the chat, y'all. How we feeling after the first defensive and offensive drive? Broncos look like the 2024 Saints on offense, and the Bucs look like the 2024 Giants. Would that be, no, the Panthers? That would be it.
Panthers for sure. Maybe Baker hasn't made any terrible throws.
That's true. Which, speaking of terrible throws, did you see? I don't even remember the college game, but the kid who got hit with the safety and then launched the ball out the back of the end zone.
That was
everyone comparing it to Will Levis.
Yeah, I think that was like Arkansas. It was a red team that got tackled. Yeah, I'm going to advise don't panic yet. I mean, let's face it. This year, the Bucs haven't faced a ton of adversity. Like the Lions took the lead in the 3rd quarter last week, and the Bucs immediately scored on their next drive. There's going to be some bumps in the road along the way. That happens to every single NFL team. So just because they're down 7-0, for all we know, Yaya Diaby can get a strip sack on this play, and the Bucs get the ball at the 30-yard line. So keep the faith.
You're such a great optimist.
Well, I'm negative about everything else in my life, so why don't I try being positive about something? William Sprague says Bucs will lose in a blowout. Okay. Angelina S says Bowles will adjust. Furukawa, better to throw a check down than an interception. Agreed. At best, you tie the game up. At worst, you go down 14-0. Tim Ford says, not panicking, but they need to play with urgency. I can control that. I think you mean they can control that. Angelina says, or pick 6 by Zion. All right, Denver tries running the ball here. Williams spins out of the initial tackle. Still will be only a gain of 3 yards.
And not that I want to just pile on or anything like this, but that play kind of highlighted one of the worries I have about this defense in the long term, which is KJ Britt's athleticism. He was right on top of Williams as Williams spun out of the pile, and you could just see the lack of athleticism. He was going to get beat to the corner. It was Jordan Whitehead who ends up making the stop there.
2nd and 7 for Tampa Bay. By the way, Greg Gaines is in and Logan Hall on this snap. It's going to be a swing pass out to the running back. Well done by Tyke Smith, shedding the blocker and also making the stop. It'll set up the first really third and long in this game.
And Tyke, great. I would love that you pointed it out. He created so much vertical displacement on the perimeter there, driving his would-be blocker 2 to 3 yards into the background or into the backfield and condensing the amount of room that I think it was Javonte Williams or whoever got the screen pass there had to work with, thus negating more opportunity for him to make a positive.
3rd and 5. Levante David blitzes. Tyke Smith blitzes as well, and nearly picked by Zion McCollum. Good job by the Bucs getting pressure, forcing Nix to get rid of it quickly, and Zion goes like this, saying, I was this close to intercepting it.
Yep. And
man.
And it was a bad read by Nix. Obviously, a miscommunication between him and I want to say Cortland Sutton, because he knew that the blitz was coming. He had his hot receiver. Sutton breaks inside. It should have been a first down. Nix just read it wrong, or maybe Sutton read it wrong, but they weren't on the same page. Nix throws an outbreaker and that's now the second dropped interception for McCollum on the season. He's got one. He could have 3 right now.
Yeah, that one I don't blame him as much. It was a little to the outside, but ultimately, yeah, you want to see him, come up with that play. Since we are at a commercial break, why don't we talk about our good friends over at Walk-Ons? They have such great game day specials, whether you're watching college football on Saturday or maybe, after the Bucs game right now, if you're not, maybe you're listening to us from a Walk-Ons, but if you're not at Walk-Ons at the moment, you got the 4:00 games you can watch there and Sunday Night Football as well. Great deals on Saturday and Sunday. Pints for $4.49 of Michelob Ultra, Bud Light, and Budweiser. Also, you can get a 22-ounce beer for $5.99. So pretty much only $1 more, $1 and change. $5 Heineken Silvers in a 12-ounce can, and $5 neutrals in assorted flavors. Check out their happy hour deals as well. They have it all day on Tuesday, which is the absolute best. And then, of course, they have it Monday through Friday as well. Their appetizers are so delicious. I'm a big fan of the fried pickles. A lot of the happy hour deals, $3 happy hour pours, some of the things we already mentioned. Sliders, you can never go wrong. Their wings are great. I had a chicken bomber the last time I was there, which was recently. So check out Walk-Ons. It's a perfect spot to watch all your favorite teams for the Bucs game. There's one in Midtown. There's one in Wesley Chapel. There's 3 locations in the Tampa Bay area. The Midtown one, it's a great spot to pregame as well if you are going to the Bucs game. So give it a shot. Shout out to Walk-Ons, one of our sponsors here on the Pewter Gameday Show.
Yeah.
Yay. Cincy Kid says, let's go Bucky and Evans drive. Yeah, I think it's important to get Mike Evans involved early. Obviously, Chris Godwin did everything last week, but this is the time you go to your best player.
Did you know that Walk-Ons has almost saturated the entire NFC South?
Well, New Orleans makes sense since it's co-owned by Drew Brees.
We've got him here in Atlanta.
You got him there in Atlanta. Nice.
I've enjoyed a time or two at Walk-Ons.
Marshy Man says, not watching the game. Who has the Broncos touchdown? That's actually Bo Nix has a rushing tutty on a little rollout. Rollout. Baker and shotgun. They do a little play action. He rolls out to his side and finds none other than Chris. Praise be to Godwin for about an 8-yard run.
See,
or catch.
And I really like this as a start to a drive or a start to a series, right? Just a quick chunk, 7 yards, set you up in 2nd and 3. Now, even if you only have a 2-yard run, it's a successful run.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. It opens the playbook for everything. Godwin goes in motion with Baker under center. They pitch it to Rachaad White. White brings a couple of tacklers with them and gets the first down. By the way, the Saints are up 3-0, and they just sacked Jalen Hurts on third down, making it fourth down, meaning that the Saints will get the foosball back. Baker stays under center. Looks like he's calling a different play at the line of scrimmage, barking some orders to others. Now McMillan goes in motion. They hand it off to Rashad, who gets about 3 or 4 yards. People already clamoring for Bucky Irving.
Yeah, that's a light box right there. And it's a good idea to get into it and give some room. It was a good call there.
Light box because there's 2 safeties to the disgust of Mel Kiper.
That was so ridiculous. I hate that we all played into it, which was just engagement bait, and we took it.
Aaron Rodgers had a great joke about it too.
He did. I thought it was hilarious what he said.
Yeah. Cade Otton makes his first catch in 2 weeks, making it a 3rd and short. Broncos sent the blitz there, and as you pointed out this week with the very, very super helpful game plan, nobody blitzes more than the Denver Broncos, at least this early in the season, blitzing at, I believe it was 49%, which is essentially every other play.
Yeah. Yeah, they've run some really interesting defense. Oh, wow. That's not good.
Oh, Baker's picked off.
This might get all the way back.
Heading the other way. Tackled at the 9, but yeah, a rough start for the Bucs and Baker Mayfield. And just not a good throw. Jones with the INT. Let's look at they got the replay going, what he was looking at. Yeah, looking for Mike Evans. I mean, both safeties are there. Kind of surprising. Broncos go play action. Looks like the Bucs were offsides as well.
And that may be a fumble. Logan Hall.
Logan Hall, I don't know how he missed it. Anthony Nelson forced the fumble. It looked like the Broncos recovered. The Bucs recovered, but we got to look at the penalty because the penalty looked like it was offsides.
Great job by Nelson.
Moment in the game early.
Yeah, great job by Nelson using his length, condensing the space between him and Nix, getting his arms up, and the penalty is going to be against the Bucs.
It's offsides.
Oh, that's on Greg Gaines, yeah.
Oh, man, yeah.
Something that we should look at the Broncos on offense here, and it looks like they've made some improvements. One of their issues through the first 2 weeks was just how long it takes to get a play called. And you can see there that they got that play off with about 12 seconds left on the play clock. The first 2 weeks, they were routinely under 5 seconds between the amount of time it takes, because Peyton's known for notoriously very long, verbose language to designate certain plays. So you got him calling it in, then Nick's having to repeat it, everybody getting ready. And it looks like they've done something to improve that. Here they are. They're going to get this play off probably with about 12 seconds left on the play clock.
Yeah, it's a great observation. Nixon shotgun.
And he's going to fall in.
Hand it off right up the gut. Make a 3rd and goal.
Whew. As bad as it could have gone for the Bucs so far.
Yeah. No other way to sugarcoat it. We'll get a goal line jumbo package here. What do you think? The Broncos run it, or do they?
Yeah,
try to go play action.
if they do like I could see a kick out where Knicks has a run pass option, but I think they just continue to try and drive it right down the throat, and they do,
Yeah.
and that looks like it's a score.
Seems like he's in. No signal yet. Broncos have their hands up. Refs are saying that they stopped him. Fourth down. Got a closer replay. Good push by, looks like either Logan Hall or Greg Gaines. I honestly can't tell.
Doesn't look like the
if
Broncos.
You're Denver, yeah. I was going to say, I think Denver goes for it.
He's about to throw it. There it is. Yep.
Okay. Never mind.
From that pylon camera, I could have sworn he got at least halfway down his numbers over the line, and the ball would have been there.
Q44 wants the pony package.
On defense?
No, I think like when the offense is back on.
I think it'd be
funny running I think it'd be funny running the pony package against the Broncos of all teams.
That is true. Broncos get beat by pony. Like that's the headline at the end of the day. Like I saw the Bowls thing, but if you look at like first drive, yes, but he quickly adjusted that second drive.
They started at the 10.
The Bucs defense held up. Like they did really well. And then this last one, like you have an offsides on Greg Gaines. How's Bowles, to blame for that on a play where Anthony Nelson actually almost created a turnover. They've been holding, the run game to, a yard. But when you're less than 3 yards away from the end zone, that's going to get you in. I can't put these last 7 points on Bowles. Like they're on the offense. They're on Baker for making a terrible decision to throw into double coverage.
Yeah, right now it's a team effort with the struggles. I mean, the defense was terrible on the first drive, and then the offense backed it up by going 3 and out and then an interception. And then also the punt coverage was terrible. So, yeah, all 3 phases kicking ass in the worst way. Sucks too, because like when you look at this, and I'm not saying the game's done. Like even if they're down 2 scores, Bucs do get the ball at halftime. Like let's not be all doom and gloom. It's what is tough is you look at the schedule and you're like, all right, like week 1 should be a win. Week 2, that's tough. Like we all predicted except for Scott for the Lions to win. So it's like, all right, well you start the year 2-1 with the win over the Broncos, but that's the NFL for you. You never know.
Yep.
Brian S. says they're definitely going for it on 4th down, right? Well, it kind of, the call stand. So
there you go.
Yeah, I guess so. Crucial moment. Question is, will they go play action? Or will they run it again? Could be a QB sneak by Bo Nix as well. And they're going to pitch it. Can Anthony Nelson get there? Oh, in pursuit, Britt. No! It's a touchdown for the Broncos. The Bucs had Jaleel McLaughlin on the play, but he was able to juke out Anthony Nelson. A risky call with the pitch, and then KJ Britt just not fast enough at the pylon. Jordan Whitehead also couldn't get off the block, and Levante David was on the opposite side. So for him to get over there, that's a tough one. KJ Britt has to make that play. And yeah, he was in bounds. That's a touchdown. Ooh, that hurts. That hurts. They were so close on 2 separate occasions coming out of that drive unscathed.
Yeah. Whew. So So Anthony Nelson, like, great heads up play to read the pitch, to slow down the running back there. He did just about everything he could that his athleticism would allow for him. Yeah, this is kind of what I was talking about with KJ Britt, the limited athleticism. He was late to get there. So what was that, McLaughlin? He was able to get the corner and just get the ball out, and then just not hitting him with physicality to stop his momentum. It's been a rough first quarter for KJ Britt.
Yeah. Where's Devin White when you need him?
Wow.
I kid. Yikes. Big yikes. Sean Payton hurting the Bucs again.
Have you ever seen the movie Monsters University? This is a sequel to
No, I've only seen the original.
It's an awesome movie. I very much recommend it. I just posted about KJ Britt, and somebody quote tweeted it with a scene from Monsters University. It's basically like a snail monster trying to run.
That's funny. Okay, Bucs take a knee this time around. Oh, Devontae Smith with a big catch and run. Oh, never mind. That was a replay.
Oh, big drive for Liam Cohen. This may be the biggest drive to start his seat, since he's become the Bucs offensive coordinator.
It's going to hurt a lot of survivor pools as well if if the Bucs lose. Not my survivor pool, but all right, Nucky if you bucky. Brian S says first down runs ain't it, champ. Well, the second drive they threw it on first down, and they had their most success. Geist is predicting that they're going to be down 28-0 at the half.
That sounds like a USF second half.
Yeah. Baker goes play action. He has time. He's going to run. He's going to fake. He's going to take several hits and get no gain. And Will Levis just threw a pick six. When did the Broncos turn into the 85 Bears? And I don't know. It seemed like Baker's elusive was great the first 2 weeks. It seemed like this time he wanted to run, but then was like, no, I'm not going to run. And then, finally, when he decided to run, it was too late. Broncos bring the blitz. It's picked up, knocked away. That's another 3 and out for the Bucs offense. Just awful, awful, awful. I mean, the ground game's still pathetic, if we're being honest.
Yep.
Nothing getting done there.
Nobody's open.
Tight coverage. Yeah, no one's open.
Nobody's open.
Bucs spacing with the $2 super chat. We appreciate the super chat, despite the anger that certainly Bucs fans are feeling at the moment as Jake Camarda's punt maybe got tipped. That was close.
It was hard to see.
But anyway, getting back to Bucs Basement's $2 super chat. Typical Bo's coaching job, always after 2-0. Yeah, they started 2-0 last year and then lost to the Philadelphia Eagles. But not ideal right now at the moment. Let's see how this drive goes. It's tough to blame the Bucs defense besides the first drive. But if it goes terribly again, then, everyone's going to deserve some blame. You know, to the Broncos' credit, they haven't really tried to run it that much. Now they do. I mean, they did at the goal line, but goal line's different than like your typical offense. But that's been a weakness for them, and somehow they've kept it together.
Yeah, one underrated part of last week was the Bucs actually had a lot of missed tackles last week against the Lions. It went underreported by basically all of us because everybody was so excited about a win, and he's out of bounds on that one. Yeah, Bo Nix goes deep for. I didn't see who the receiver was there.
Yeah.
Pass is caught. There's a crossing route there by
16.
Troy Franklin out of Oregon. There you go.
Yeah.
Just couldn't keep both feet in. One. Yeah, second one's out. But he was open on that crosser. But like I was saying, like the Bucs there were, I want to say 26 missed tackles in that game. It was just everybody was rallying to the ball. It went a little under notice, but that hit him on first down there.
3rd and 3. Can the Bucs get off the field? Gang tackles. Oh, looks like it's Rosé Dennis and Jordan Whitehead make the stop. It'll make it 4th and inches.
Yeah, Zion McCollum was in there initially, but again, missed tackles on the initial hit.
Yep.
Or else that would have been much further off the line of scrimmage, and you're probably looking at a punt. Or off the.
You got to think the Broncos are just going to try to draw them off sides here. There's 10 seconds to go. Oh, they go for it and they get it. Oh my God.
Aggressive coaching, man.
Yeah. What an awful way to end the first half, first quarter, I should say. Yikes. Big time yikes. Whew.
All right.
Yeah, right now the Broncos look like the Bucs of the first 2 weeks, and the Bucs look like the Broncos of the first 2 weeks.
That is very true.
All right, let's get to the comments, people.
I'm sure they're all very positive.
Yeah, Brian S. says, Yaya, zero awareness. Nix ran right by him, and Yaya unblocked, whiffed at air. Stan Glassman says, 2 for 2 on 4th downs. That's true. Granted, they were from an inch away, but nonetheless. King Count says, no excuses for injuries. Yeah, I mean, I don't think the issue is just like, oh, well, Vita Vea is not playing, so that's why the Bucs are.
The touchdown there, Anthony Nelson and KJ Britt would have been in on that play no matter what. It's goal line defense that both of those guys are a part of their goal line package. Problem is, both those guys are 2 of the worst athletes on the defense, right? Mm-hmm. That's not an injury-related issue.
Brian Molinaro says, stop calling it a trap game. Spit Geyser says, Bucs playing like they should be drafting in the lottery. Furu Koab with a shot at Carolina says, is Canales back to calling our offense again?
Yes, Farouk Koab, like, what makes this a Canales-like call?
Yeah, I guess
first drive they ran on first down, but since then, setting up the screen.
Okay.
Missed tackle again.
Tackle, yeah.
Is that CJ Brewer on the mixed tackle, I think?
Yeah, I think so. Cincy Kid says 3 quarters to go. Let's start here, Bucs defense.
Got to start somewhere.
Make the comeback that much cooler. Yep, Jay breaks football, says another missed tackle. And Ken Cook wants to know, where's Rashad and Bucky today? Well, they've ran it a little bit. Yeah, maybe screens come on this next drive. Nick's going down the field. Oh, caught by Cortland Sutton. Jamel Dean right there on the play, but can't get the stop.
Yeah, this is an evolution for Bo Nix, and he's decided on week 3. He's thrown almost no outbreakers in the intermediate part of the field.
I don't know how Dean missed that. He was like right there.
Dean was cheating for an inbreaker, which is what I would have done too. But you got to make a play there, Jamel Dean. You undercut the route.
Bowles now just blitzing on every play, saying, F it. We need to get pressure one way or another. Bucs are staring down the barrel of a 21-0 deficit.
Yeah.
Second and 4. Broncos having their way against the Bucs. In all phases. It's not just a defensive issue. And it's a first down for Tampa Bay. Brian Scheffler with a great comment. Did they resurrect John Elway? Justin says maybe should have played Vita. AJ Rodriguez, what the hell am I watching? I don't even know. This is like Bizarro World. Jeff the Champ says, all right, I'm out. Don't lose the faith just yet. That's what betting on player props is for, Here goes a screen to Troy Franklin. Yeah, I mean, Broncos are just churning out, 8 yards per play.
Franklin has not been a big part of their offense to this point in the season.
No, he is not.
He was a real curious case because a lot of draft analysts, myself included, thought he was one of the best receivers in the draft. He fell to day 3, then got buried on the depth chart. Now all of a sudden they've decided, and he played at Oregon with Bo Nix, so maybe they were just like, let's find somebody who has chemistry with this guy. And they were putting him out there this week.
Second and 4. Broncos easily controlling the time of possession as well. Nix looks. This is the first time he's actually had to think and find an open receiver. Anthony Nelson, who's having a pretty good game, draws a holding penalty. So that'll be coming back.
I think that's on Garrett Bowles. Yep.
M says, Broncos looking like the 72 Dolphins. As Paulie React says, letdown game, hate these. So Bucs catch a little break. Now 2nd and 14. Levante David blitzes, no pressure. He's got all day, dumps off a short pass. Jamel Dean does a good job wrapping up, making the tackle there. Anthony Nelson with the hustle as well. Yeah, this is a heck of a start for the Denver Broncos. We'll see how the Bucs respond. Brian Hernandez says, how do we blitz every down and get no pressure? That's a good point. I mean, the Bucs are supposed to take advantage of this offensive line, and they're just not. Nick's looking to his right, then to his left. Looks like a design screenplay. Logan Hall is in pursuit.
Nice job,
Levante David. A late flag. It looked like David got pushed in the back, in my expert, humble opinion.
Yep, looks like he's calling for it himself.
Yes. Which, if you're Bulls, do you decline it here?
I'm trying to think here. Where would that put them?
It would essentially be like 4th and 9, I want to say. I mean, unless you think...
No, I mean, that's 3rd and so 3rd and 13 would make 3rd and 23, but it would push them back to the 33-yard line, making it a 50-yard field goal. That's still within field goal range. I think I probably would have just let the penalty go.
Yeah, because I'm just thinking of unless you get a sack on the play, which I'm just worried about, a stupid face mask penalty or a holding on the defensive back 5 yards down the field.
Right.
That would be my concern. Or a bunch of missed tackles. All right, so the Bucs still get the stop. It makes it a little bit of a longer field goal. I am so happy. I took the under in Colts-Bears. The Colts just threw an interception in the end zone when they were at the goal line. It is 0-0 with 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. So, happy with that. Will Lutz on for the kick. Wow, it really is Saints West. Kick is up, and it is good.
17-0.
Yeah, Broncos extend their lead.
Bo Nix, this game's going to put him in the front of the Rookie of the Year race.
Well, yeah, they usually give it to quarterbacks, right? And okay, Williams sure ain't getting it at this point. And I don't think Jaden Daniels has thrown a touchdown pass yet. He's ran for a couple against the Bucs. Well, I guess Bo Nix didn't throw for a touchdown either. So, by the way, for all of your Bucs coverage, best place to consume it all is over at Autograph. People always ask us, when is Pewter Report going to have an app? And the answer is we're not going to have an app because you can get all Pewter Report stuff with the Autograph app. You might be wondering, what is Autograph? It's what you already do as a fan. It's reading blogs, listening to podcasts, watching breakdowns. It's all in one place over on the Autograph app. It was actually co-founded by former Buccaneers star Tom Brady, who, again, will be calling the Bucs game next week. And it's completely free and available on Android and iPhones. And they have it for not just football and the Bucs specifically, but, if you have a favorite NBA or WNBA team or a baseball team, they have fantasy football and NCAA sports as well. So for all your favorite teams, check it out. And you can read Pewter Report news, watch Pewter Report videos and podcasts, and get rewarded in one free app with the Autograph app. Let's get to some more comments. King Cook says, ridiculous. LOL. Our D-line sucks even with Vita Vea in there. It just plain out sucks. No freaking rush whatsoever.
Yeah, and it's interesting because Yaya Diaby's had a great first couple weeks. I mean, he's actually been playing well. He's been getting pressure, a little bit on the late side, but still getting pressure. Haven't really seen that from him today. Without Vea and Kancey, you're asking a lot of guys who aren't typically known as great pass rushers to win on the inside. Logan Hall hasn't panned out in his 2+ years now with the Bucs. He's turned into a serviceable run defender, but not a great pass rusher. Greg Gaines is a nose tackle by trade. It's not good. And so Bowles is just dialing up blitzes. And Peyton's done a great job of scheming guys open and having Nix ready to execute those looks.
All right, another chance for the Buccaneers, who have 22 yards of offense at the moment.
Mayfield's got a pick, and he's tried to scramble for some yards, and Denver's done a really great job of kind of teaching their D-line to play a little bit more contained to prevent that. He needs to make sure that he doesn't go for a 17-point play here. They need a drive.
Exactly. And a handoff for no gain. Well, maybe a yard, but Brian S. wants to know, first down, run down 17-0. What are we doing?
They didn't see it coming.
Yeah. Well, not the adjustments we expected from Liam Cohen. He's like, how are they stopping the run? How?
And I haven't seen a lot of blitzing from the Broncos either. Like they're sending 4, dropping 7.
Mike Evans with the catch as Caleb Williams gets picked off in the Bears-Colts game. Makes it a 3rd and short. 3rd and 2. Bucs already have 2 3-and-outs in the game in their 3 possessions. Don't want to make it a 3rd. And they're 0 for 3 on 3rd down. They haven't done so just yet.
1 for 4.
Baker gets rid of the ball. It's caught by Chris Godwin. And all hope is not lost just yet, Bucs fans. That's a Bucs first down. And let's remember, like, if things are bad, but if the Bucs can just get points here, they start the 3rd quarter with the football. If they score a touchdown there, it's a 1-possession game.
And still a lot to play, a lot of time to play this half.
Baker making some calls up at the line of scrimmage. Jalen McMillan goes in motion. Oh, boy. Wish I had liquor in this cup. It's water. Minnie says, thank God, hallelujah. Probably talking about the first down. Rashad West says, stop running it on first down. I agree.
Just lighting first down on fire.
It's not even that. It's just like they're not getting any gain out of it. Baker with a short pass to Rashad White, who makes some nice moves and makes it a reasonable 3rd and 2.
A good move there, getting upfield.
By the way, we'll have Aaron Jacobson from the Pat and Aaron Show joining us at halftime. We'll get his thoughts on this first half. I don't even know how to describe it at this point. Pressure coming from the Broncos. Baker gets hit. I try to go pick that up. That could have been a fumble. Will the Bucs go for it? Will Todd Bowles be aggressive?
He his arm was coming forward on that. Looks like Tristan Wirfs just got beat.
Yeah.
Wow, that guy had a lot of bend on that. Who was that?
Okay, Bucs are lining up for it. They only got 9 seconds, though, so they better hurry. Or maybe call a timeout.
What was?
They fake the handoff, and it's dropped by Chris Godwin.
Just wasn't a great throw to him. Get it into his body.
That almost kind of looked like a little bit to the other side, and
it was
and,
the Evans play at the
in
end
the
of
spot. But what's up?
I said like the Evans play at the end of last game.
Yes, yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. It's an RPO,
where he's looking to see if they get the one-on-one coverage with inside leverage, which he got everything he was supposed to get. It just was a bad throw. And it was late. He was indecisive on it. Like, this has been a bad game for Baker.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is what we talked about with Baker throughout his career. It's just,
can he string it all together?
Yeah. Big time yikes. Let's take a look at the stats at the moment. I just had them pulled up. Baker Mayfield is 6 of 11 for 35 yards. So that's an average of 3.2 yards per attempt. 1 interception, 1 sack, rating of 22.9. So not great. Bucky Irving has 4 rushing attempts for 8 yards. Bucky Irving has 2 rushing attempts. I don't know why I can't say that. For 4 yards. So both of them averaging 2 yards per rush. Identical. Chris Godwin leads the way with 2 catches for 15 yards. He also leads in targets with 4. Rashad White, 2 catches, 10 yards. Mike Evans, 1 catch, 8 yards. Cade Otton, 1 for 2. And Trey Palmer, no catches, but does have a target his way. Jamel Dean leads the Bucs in tackles with 6, including 5 of them being solo. Next is Jordan Whitehead. And on and on and on. No Bucs player has a pass breakup or a sack. Broncos go play action. Nick's throwing over the middle. Incomplete. Jamel Dean makes a play. Oh, and we have a super chat to get to. Thanks to Geist85. Thanks to Geist85 for this $5 super chat, who says, are the Bucs really a playoff team if they can't beat bad teams? Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we've seen teams have bad weeks.
Lost the Raiders last year and won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. On Christmas. Well, they didn't win the Super Bowl on Christmas, but they lost to the Raiders on Christmas. Imagine if the Super Bowl was played on Christmas. That'd be wild.
That would be amazing.
Oh, come on, yeah, so close. So I honestly would just chalk this up to a bad week. Obviously, there's things that have continued to struggle, like the run game and sacks versus. I mean, obviously, like you want to get consistent pressure, but just being able to take down the quarterback. It's just a bad game. I don't think it's more. It's more of an outlier than it is a trend for Tampa Bay, in my opinion. As Jordan Whitehead gets absolutely fooled on the handoff, the fake handoff. Yaya went down too. First name greatest says, with Bulls, they will never contend for anything.
I mean, they made it all the way to the division.
I know. I get it. Fans, they want to overreact. They want to be upset. I get it.
Like, you can say, I don't think Todd Bowles will get them to the Super Bowl, but they won the NFC South, so they contended for that and won it. Oh, there's a fumble. I think the Bucs might have recovered.
Was he down? That could be big. That could be huge.
Logan Hall's falling on the football. Left, right.
Was he down, though? Who would have thought a missed tackle by the Bucs
No, he's not. Was his hand
I
down?
think that's out.
Yeah, I think that's out. Because his hand's down, but I think it was out. His elbow hit.
His down.
I think it comes down to that elbow.
You don't even have to challenge it. All those things are reviewed anyway.
Well,
unless they're saying, okay, the TODD is challenging it.
Yeah, call on the field was that he was down, so it requires the challenge flag because it wasn't a turnover.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, I thought I saw the Bucs offense on the field, but I did not because I am an idiot.
So I think this all comes down to his elbow, right? So Javonte Williams' elbow. So as he flips over and slides off of another body, his hand hits the ground, and then the ball comes out and his elbow hits the ground right around the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And if happen first.
And if the call stands, Bucs fans and everybody can still get mad at the refs and be like, this ref doesn't know his ass from his elbow or something like that because it's the elbow.
Something else to complain about.
Yes. Yeah. That's why there's theories that, in a world filled with technology now, like they still use the chains and the yard markers when there's like way better ways to like measure how close they are to a first down. It's like just because, people want to complain about the refs and get angry and argue about stuff. Yeah, my fantasy team is off to a pretty brutal start because Mike only has one catch, and so does Devontae Smith. But no one cares about my fantasy team. So,
I care about your fantasy team. It makes me want to think about my fantasy team. I'm 50-50 split is what the simulator is projecting.
Fitty.
I'm projected for 146.06. And my opponent is projected for 146.26. So,
okay. Oh wow, Farouk Rawab. Sorry, I got a notification. Should I spoil what happens?
Yes, spoil away.
Okay. I'm gonna spoil it without even talking about it. Because we don't have. Never mind. We don't have a video for fumble. We only have a video for.
And they're back. It's on the screen now.
Hey, it wasn't an interception, but we're starving for cool videos right now, so we'll take it.
And again,
I know it was the wrong button for girls.
Credit where credit is due for logically corral the ball. He's the one who corralled the ball off of Anthony Nelson's would-be turnover earlier in the game if it wasn't called back for a false or a offsides on Greg Gaines.
Give me play action. Give it to me. Oh, pony package. Nope, they just
he's got a room. He's got room.
Pony, start galloping, pony. You know the Colts fan that sings all the songs? This is our Colts. This is our team.
Yes, I saw the dude he had the cheerleaders.
Yeah. That guy cracks me up.
He looked so happy. I was so happy for him.
He is so happy. Yeah, when he's like introducing Bucs cheerleaders or Colts cheerleaders.
Oh, the run game. Look at
Oh my God, the ground game's working. Liam Cohen says, damn you and your first down run complaints. Pony package. Oh, man. Justin says, back-to-back good runs. What am I watching?
I know. It's not normal. I don't know how to feel.
Yeah. I feel delirious. That's how I feel.
Play action. Kate
Otten.
Juking. Jumping. Jiving.
Yeah. Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. Whoop! Let's get a Baker Mayfield touchdown pass here. Preferably to Mike Evans.
I will contend Chris Godwin. But I have a different Bucs receiver on my fantasy team than you do.
Shout out Paul, a.k.a. Florida Dreamhouse. It says, currently at Walt Disney World. I want to check in. Looks like I picked the right game to miss. Shout out Matty Diamonds, Josh, and the Pewter people. Let's turn this around. There's some positivity.
And another reverse, and he's got a hole. And Bucky's down to the one.
Nucky if you Bucky. Nucky if you Bucky. Oh, we got a gift from Paul, a.k.a. Florida Dreamhouse. He's gifting one Pewter Report membership. So thank you, Paul, a.k.a. Florida Dreamhouse, for your generosity.
Paul is one of our probably biggest supporters and just a genuinely sweet human being. Can't say enough good things about him on a personal level.
Nucky if you Bucky. Yeah, he was down. I'm not expecting this to be a touchdown. God bless the pony package.
Whoo, buddy.
I really just want to tweet out a picture of the Bucky statue. Just a person says, who let the ponies out?
I see what they did there.
Pony package. People seem to be fans of the pony package celebration. Yeah, I love it. Keep putting the pony package in the chats. Callie Bucks, thanks for the $1.99 super chat, says Combine said Bucky is slow, can't test game speed. Very, very true. I mean, Braylon Allen of the Jets had a great quote tweet. I think on Friday, the day after the Jets pummeled the New England Patriots in a game that was never close. He said, someone was like, "How did Braylon Allen drop to the fourth round?" He's like, "Because people want to judge me for running around in my underwear," or something like that. It's very funny tweet.
To Callie's point, a lot of teams these days, the Bucs included, are moving away from 40-yard dash times in their evaluations of player speed and moving more towards sprint speed during actual games, because in players' pads they actually have chips so they can test how fast are they. This was actually a big storyline from the first week of the year with the Cardinals with their rookie receiver Marvin Harrison, because the fastest he got in that first game, I think, was 16 miles an hour, which is very slow for a receiver. Then week 2 he came back and I think he hit 21 miles an hour. So it's also just since we're at commercial, I'll do it as a kind of a parallel story. It's how the Rams were able to get Cooper Kupp so late in the draft, because that was really kind of, Kupp, I want to say he's 7-8 years into his career now, but back when he was coming out of college, people weren't really using chips and game speed. They were using 40-yard dashes, and the Rams were one of the first teams to use it, and that's how they were able to secure Cooper Kupp.
All right, first and goal for the Bucs. Rashad White is back in the game. Keith didn't have fullback. They're going to hand it off to Rashad, and
he got over.
Jeez, these refs are terrible with the spots today. Oh my my God. On Red Zone, they're showing the rushing leaders, and they don't have it as Bucky Irving. They have it as his government name, Marquise.
I knew you were going to say government name.
I was going to say his real name. That was odd.
Given name?
Given name, yeah.
Yep. What is his government name?
It's Marquise, but it's like MAR''KIESE, something like that.
Oh, I like Bucky.
Yeah, me
mostly
too.
because I'm used to it. His government.
Yeah, that's a touchdown. How did what are we
They're
doing
not
here?
Bowles.
I mean, it's like.
I guess because it's first down, you got an inch to go. You feel confident you're going to get it, and you don't want to burn the challenge. But you also get more challenges back at the game, right? Like,
QB sneak, Baker Mayfield. Oh my God! Now there's a penalty.
And the Broncos are signaling it's against the Bucs,
which is
probably should have challenged that first down play. Oh, now you got a fight busting out. I think it was Justin School instigating. What in the world did they see for?
They're saying they were lined up wrong.
I have no clue.
Maybe they'll do the pony package since they're 5 yards back. Or maybe we'll get a fade to Mike. Yeah, I don't know what the penalty is. And we don't have volume. And the refs don't do sign language. I actually also don't know sign language, so even if they did it, I wouldn't be able to. But
they called false start on Graham Barton.
Oh,
yes, for his hand flinching.
Absolute poppycock. Okay, well now the Bucs probably got to throw it.
Fade to Godwin
towards the end zone. Touchdown,
Fade
Tampa Bay.
Godwin.
Chris Praise be to Godwin. Trying to see what that celebration is, but nonetheless, that's a touchdown. The Bucs are on the board. That's a touchdown throw for Baker Mayfield, a desperately needed one. Good on Chris. His third touchdown of the season. He's had one in every game. And now we get to play the video.
And you know the most important part of that touchdown, Matt? And I believe everybody in the chat's going to agree with me now on this.
Your bet.
The football team is now favored to win. Yes, that is the absolute number one with a bullet on the importance of that touchdown.
All right, so the Bucs are on the board. It's a passing touchdown for Baker Mayfield.
And I believe Chris Godwin now has more touchdowns this year than he did all of last year. I could be wrong.
I believe that would be true.
Let me double check.
Yeah, he had 2 in the regular season, and then he had 1 in the Eagles playoff game.
That's right.
James Walker said, I'm worried about Evans in this offense so far. Nah, Mike will be fine. He's going up against a good corner this week.
You did have like one of the craziest stat polls I've seen about Mike Evans when it comes to first 3 games of any season.
Who would have thought? Little old me, going all Tim Kirkchin on everyone's ass. For those that don't know, Tim Kirkchin is a longtime ESPN baseball analyst, and He's popular for he's a great reporter and analyst and everything, but he's also very popular for having stats like not since Bubblegum Williams did it in 1915 has any player who played second base and then moved to third base later in the game has had more doubles with a 1:00 p.m. afternoon start. Just like the most obscure.
And then he would follow it up with like Bubblegum Williams never actually chewed bubblegum. He was famously, tobacco chewer.
Yeah. Bubblegum Williams actually brought the band to tobacco in New York City after his brief stay with the New York Giants.
Oh, man. What's really interesting about that touchdown is typically not just the fade part of it, but the alignment there. That was a 3-by-1, and and Evans is normally the X isolated on the single side. So really interesting way of kind of aligning that out. I have to think it's because Surtain is following Evans, and they just didn't want Surtain to be defending a fade like that.
Could be. Camarda kicks the ball into the end zone for a touchback. So, this is a situation now. We'll see how the Broncos, how aggressive they want to get. But the Bucs have all 3 timeouts. They do get the ball in the second half. But hey, a 3 and out, and the Bucs are right back in it. Yeah, best drive of the day for the Bucs, clearly. Nix starts in shotgun. They blitz Servassier Dennis. Nix has time, throws it, caught, and immediately tackled by Christian Izien.
Good play by Izien there. Again, Bucs have been missing tackles all day. Nice to see somebody with just a straight stand-up, one-on-one, bring them to the ground tackle.
2nd and 5. Nix to the left side, caught by Sutton, who's having a pretty good game against Don't Make a Scene. Broncos at the 45. Nix to the tight end. That's going to be a first down. Pressure just not getting there. Under pressure.
So I think I mentioned it earlier, Bo Nix through the first 2 weeks of the season avoided throwing outside the numbers like it was the play. Now he's just peppering the outside.
He is, and went from the Bucs trying to get a quick stop to, just trying to not allow points. Nix to the left side, caught. That was Dennis in coverage. No, I thought that was Reynolds. It was not Reynolds. It was Humphrey with the reception.
Yeah.
Broncos going a little up tempo now. Bucs could use another turnover.
And just no pressure.
Yeah, no pressure. He's got all day. Now he's going to scramble. He's going to get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock with 33 seconds to go. By the way, the New York Football Giants they're up 14-7. They're trying to take a 2-score lead against the Cleveland Browns. Minnesota is up on the Texans 14-0, trying to drive. There's about 50 seconds before the end of the half. And Red Zone also has the Bucs game on, which is not a good sign for Bucs fans. Jamel Dean makes a tackle in bounds. Denver only has 1 timeout remaining.
And if there's one area where their offense has been good coming into this game, it's been 2-minute drill.
Nix to the right side. Oh! Simon McCollum came close. 6 tackles for McCollum in the game. People unhappy about the pressure, unhappy about the coverage. 11 seconds to go, so be interesting to see how Denver, do they take a shot at the end zone? Chris Braswell in pursuit. Nix has to get it away. He does throw it away with 6 seconds to go, so now the field goal unit will come on.
Would have been so huge if Braswell was able to bring him down before he got the ball out. Would have made it a much more difficult field goal.
Rashad West says, we needed a stop, and the kick is good by Will Lutz. He says, we need a stop. We let them walk it down the field. Yeah, Nix has been very comfortable. The blitzes just haven't worked, and obviously the pass rush hasn't. So, been a bit of an issue at the moment for the Bucs defense. Been an issue all the way around. You know, Bucs, outside of their last touchdown, haven't really been able to sustain drives. And, yeah, the defense has really only forced 1 punt today. So it's been the issue early on. But, yeah, let us know, everybody, your thoughts about what's going on. We're going to have Aaron Jacobson on momentarily. I see him getting set up in the back room at the moment. But yeah, 20-7, not ideal. Could use one more score from the Vikings and the Texans before the end of this half. For those that have the over in that game. Christopher Oxentine says they drafted a bunch of guys that have some speed but no real pass rush ability. Geist85 says, why can't the Bucs generate sacks? Michael, a Pewter Report YouTube channel member, says playing offense versus a rookie quarterback. As,
I think he's saying playing ball.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So can you put that one back up, Matt? I just want to.
Yes, Michael.
So, Michael, the first 2 reps of the game, the Bucs went with press man, and they got burned. They played off coverage against Jared Goff last week. Like, this is
right.
The Bucs defense. Like, they played off coverage against Jaden Daniels in week 1. The problem isn't where the corners are to start the route. It's what's happening at the top of the route, which is unlike last week when they were playing otherworldly at the top of the route, driving and pinching at the stem. Now they're hesitant, they're less reactive, they're less quick as when the ball's released. So it's not that, because again, they got burned. They're 2 of the worst plays they allowed all game were when they were in press man. If you want to go back to that, I'm a little scared to see what could happen there. That's when you get burned over the top. So that's my take on it.
Right. Yeah, that opening drive was really where you saw them get hurt playing that man-to-man coverage. So obviously not the ideal start to this game for the Bucs as they trail 20-7 at the half. Bucs do get the ball to start the third quarter. And joining us now, our good friend from the Pat and Aaron show. He was on with us last weekend, brought some good luck. The Bucs defeating the Detroit Lions. Off to a slower start right now, but Aaron Jacobson joining us. Aaron, thanks so much for coming on. Just let out your frustration. Let's vent about what's going on and what you've seen so far from the Bucs.
They look really slow. I mean, except for especially on defense, they just look really, really slow. They look slow all game. And maybe this is a little bit of bravado, right? We're all hyped up on this team. They look good. Baker Mayfield's look good. The offense is moving the ball, even though they hadn't been running the ball effectively. And they didn't run the ball effectively until that last drive. And you can hear Bucky. They want Bucky.
Yeah.
They want Bucky. I mean, how can you argue? Rachaad White, it's the offensive line as well. But Bucky seems to be able to just make things happen. And when he was able to make that happen, you saw they went right back to Rachaad White. And then it's kind of like a 1-2 punch there, the run game. Not taking anything away from Rachaad White. Just Bucky Irving looks really good. they look slow, guys. I mean, they did not come out to play. The defense didn't set the tone out of the gate, and then the offense didn't catch up. And it looked very reminiscent. I know we've all been hyping up Liam Cohen, but until that last drive, it looked very reminiscent to last year, and without being able to get the ball moving. But finally, getting some movement up front. And guys, I don't know. It was they got punched in the mouth in that first half.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with Aaron. And to your point about the difference between Bucky and Rashad, for me, it's a foot speed thing. Bucky's he's got quicker feet, which allow him to change direction in condensed spaces much more quickly than Rashad. So I couldn't agree with you more. And I think that, it looks like the Bucs are starting to see that themselves and lean into that with Bucky.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. Baker Mayfield, and you see hey, listen, we've been used to watching Baker Mayfield play with a lead. Now it's like, all right, play from behind. If they don't make that big play on defense, this team might be shut out still at this point. So big turnover, but also like, what the heck happened on the Nelson Britt double juke? Like that's fourth down. He's dead to, I mean, when I say dead to rights, he's done. There's nowhere to go. Nowhere to hide. There's no reason.
Right. It's worst athletes risky. On their defense.
It's risky running a pitch play on fourth down, especially when it kind of looked like the Broncos scored on the play before. These refs, by the way, have been terrible when it comes to spotting the football, because Rachaad White had a touchdown on that play before. Yeah. Chris Godwin ended up scoring, so it ended up being fine. But that was a terrible spot. And the Bucs got lucky on that spot on the 3rd and goal play for Denver, but they ultimately got it done on the pitch play, which is so surprising that KJ Britt couldn't get there. Well, I guess Josh wouldn't be surprised because he's been calling about his slowness from the start. But
if they don't score, by the way, I don't want to get too far away from it. If they don't, because I agree with you, Rachaad White was in the end zone, and then they get I don't know what that penalty was. I guess it was on Graham Barton. I didn't see it.
Start.
But I didn't see it. I don't know if you did. It didn't look like a false start to me. But
they got him for that. It was literally that. It was BS.
Sleight of hand.
But let's say they don't challenge that, which they didn't. You get the false start. You don't get the amazing play by Chris Godwin. They don't score. I mean, we're killing Todd Bowles for not challenging, and it sucks. You would have had to use another challenge. They already got with the new rules. They got 2 challenges for getting the first one right. But I mean, you gotta. I would have used the challenge there.
I was saying the same thing, Aaron. I'm right there with you. And that could almost was the worst case scenario coming out of it. So
you need that score.
Yeah.
Aaron, how about this pass rush? This was supposed to be a game where the pass rush got going, especially on the edge, with Broncos starting right tackle Mike McGlinchey going into reserve. It's supposed to be a breakout game for Yaya Diaby, and we knew Todd Bowles was going to send the house with the blitz, as he typically does, and the pass rush is nowhere to be found.
Nope, no pressure at all. And you see what happens. Listen, I don't care if you're a rookie quarterback. I don't care what type of quarterback. And listen, I'm not saying that Bo Nix is really like a dual threat, but he can use his feet. He can absolutely control when he gets pressured a little bit. If he sees an opening, he's going to hit it. So anytime I saw a little bit of a glimmer of hope that they could get after him, he didn't look like a rookie, using his feet. So I mean, listen, I know people like to look back and go, history, the Bucs are terrible against rookie quarterbacks. Doesn't matter if it's a rookie quarterback. If you don't execute on defense, you're going to get beaten. They have not been able to execute on defense. That's it.
And then just kind of to your point about how slow they are, have you noticed with the pressure packages, guys are coming in very late and mostly from depth, and it just doesn't seem like those extra rushers are doing anything and ending up being a net negative in the back end.
Yeah, we've seen this before, and they're going to have to change that in the second half. You're going to have to get pressure. I expect that Denver's going to run the ball a lot in the second half and try to control the pace of this game now that they're up. The Bucs haven't had to fight from behind like this, so now you're going to have to, on defense, maybe make another play, but you got to control the pace on offense as well and get in the end zone.
Last one for me, just as it pertains to Baker, I feel like this goes back to what we talked about even after he got the big contract, which I think, we all said that he was deserving of it. But there was that concern of can Baker be consistent throughout a whole season? And we saw the first 2 games, people are naming him MVP, Sept MVP, whatever you want to call it. And then today just hasn't shown up. Where's your concern level with Baker? Maybe not for the whole season, but in this game specifically.
In this game, I have a high level of concern. He doesn't look good. They don't look good. They all around they look slow. It just it doesn't look great. But no quarterback is going to go throughout the 17 game schedule, 18 weeks, 17 games. You're not going to be able to see any of this perfect quarterback play. You're going to see some inconsistency. It's the way he's always been. You just have to hope that he can manage it and not be inconsistent at the worst times. You just got to hope the second half they come out of the gate. You got to punch him back in the mouth. You get the football back. You got to score, at least get a field goal, but a touchdown to cut this to a 1-score lead after what they dealt with in the first half, that would change everything.
One more for me, if you don't mind, Aaron. Mike Evans, 2 targets, 1 catch, 8 yards. So far, first 2 games, I think he had 12 targets, but obviously he's kind of taken a back seat to Godwin. Where are you in terms of the Baker Evans kind of relationship and the offense just trying to create looks or create touches for him? Do you think that that's necessary at this point? Because we're working on 6 quarters of lackluster offense, at the very least, coming off of that week 1 game where they looked unstoppable.
Yeah, Baker's not going to just force the ball to Mike Evans, but he did in the first half, and you saw what happened. That's why Baker will always say, like, he's going to play. He's not just going to look at guys specifically and be like, I got to get that guy his target. Mike Evans, we're very, very lucky to not have any divas on this team, especially from the wide receiver position where most teams have at least one, especially the great ones. So I think that you don't force him the ball. If you see that safety coming in, you got to be very careful. They're going to be keying in on Mike Evans. So that's when Chris Godwin comes in. You got to get he forced one to Palmer, tried to force one in there, didn't get it to work. You got to get your other receivers working here. You got to get some help here. And I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Mike Evans or anybody else, whoever the receiver is, it's open. Whoever the offense or the defense presents an open option to, you have to go to him and you have to hit him.
Well, we'll see how the Bucs look in the second half. They're down 20-7 right now. Aaron, we appreciate you coming on the show. You can check out Aaron on the Pat and Aaron Show on WDAE from 6 to 9 every Monday through Friday. So, Aaron, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, gentlemen. It's time to go have a cold one and hopefully turn the tide in the second half.
Enjoy.
Well said. Thank you, sir. All right, let's talk about our friends over at BetUS. Of course, BetUS is the presenting sponsor of the Pewter Gameday Show. There's the read. Listen up, sports bettors. Your favorite sports book, BetUS.com, is back for their 30th year of NFL action. With the industry's biggest sign-up bonus of up to 125%, BetUS offers its members the opportunity to cash in on all your favorite sports, including NFL, UFC, and Major League Baseball. Mets have a big game at 7 o'clock tonight. If you're looking for live in-game betting, incredible odds with daily odds boosters, props, and parlays, BetUS has got them. Do you also want fast payouts with exceptional customer service? BetUS has got that too. They are the best in the gambling business when it comes to their customer service. So log into BetUS.com or call 800-792-3887. That's 800-79-BET-US. So go to BetUS.com where the game begins and get up to a 125% bonus and 10% gambler's insurance with the promo code Pewter. That's P-E-W-T-E-R. P-E-W-T-E-R. Shout out to our friends over at BetUS. We had a super chat before I wanted to get to. Thank you to Malcolm Harvey, who says, is Yaya hurt? Seeing Nelson out there too much. We've seen a lot of Anthony Nelson. It'll be interesting to take a look at the snap counts tomorrow. But Yaya's been in there, just much like many of the Bucs today, hasn't made a play.
Yeah, I mean, the Bucs, they rotate their edge rushers a ton. When Nelson was on the field, I feel like Braswell was on the field. When Yaya was on the field, JTS was on the field. So, I just, based on what I've seen, I would say it was just part of the regular rotation. I think some of the shorter drives were the JTS and Yaya drives, and then the more extended drives, go figure, it's with your backups in. So
we were getting closer to the start of the third quarter, and yeah, I mean, a lot can change if the Bucs can come out with an opening drive touchdown. I mean, yeah, field goal would be nice, but still a 2-possession game. A touchdown puts the pressure back on to the Broncos, and I think really, brings the crowd back into it. I mean, we can't tell; we don't have the volume on, but I would imagine, especially going down 14-0 with the pick from Baker, probably really took the air out of the stadium. This is a great way to get the crowd back in.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to see Liam Cohen first week. One of the things that I was most impressed with him were he took a lot of the information from the first half and immediately applied it to the second half to the Bucs' benefit. So hoping to see that here in week 3. And it'll be interesting to see what this first drive looks like, the scripted drive.
Soldier saying, before I lose my mind. Soldier says, come out this half and score back-to-back TDs before I lose my mind. And we're about to start the third quarter. Just a reminder, we will have TKras Krasniqi, a.k.a. TKras, or the we'll probably get him like, I think the best way to do it is probably the commercial, like the end of the third quarter, that kind of commercial break right there. So
yeah,
kind of, yeah. All right, let's see what the Bucs do. M says disappointed so far. Yeah, I agree with you. What I'm not disappointed in is you, the Pewter people. You all have been fantastic watching this show. We appreciate you. There's over 1,100 people watching on Twitter alone. That doesn't even include those watching on YouTube and Facebook. So we appreciate all of you. Yes, all of you for watching with us. Kells 808 says they need themselves some Celsius. Oh, they got the pony package, and it's a screen to Chris Godwin, who heads up the field and gets a first down. So a screen very similar, a little bit different, but similar to how they started the game against the Lions. Now, Godwin in that game got tackled for 1 yard. This time around, obviously, getting Tristan Wirfs out there.
Way out there.
Yeah. Kate Otten as well. Well done.
Also, requisite praise be to Godwin, correct?
Yes, yeah, praise be. And the pony package again. Caught by Kate Otten over the middle, holds onto the ball, and that's a first down. And once again, they succeed with the pony package. Oh, God bless the pony package. Yeah, Kate Otten making an impact today. M says, yes. Yeah, the Bucs have been aggressive early. I like it.
2 straight first down passes, and they're gaining yardage.
Baker under center. Play action. Rashad. Oh, damn. Looked like he wanted to take a deep shot, but
former Jet great John Franklin Myers.
Yeah. See the issue here. They did send a blitz because Rashad had to pick it up like immediately.
Yeah.
By the way, the Saints are winning 3-0 over the Eagles. A very low-scoring game. 2nd and 17. Baker gets, oh boy. Baker got drilled again.
It's coming from the right side of that line.
Yep. Let's take another look.
Cody Malk.
Yeah, Malk just beat on the play.
I wish they gave us a better angle. I want to see if it was miscommunication because it almost looked like
right versus
that was his guy.
Well, a good start for the Bucs. However, a sack has really, really altered this drive, making a 3rd and 17. Broncos don't bring any pressure, so Baker has time. He's got a. Did that get tipped? I think that got tipped.
Yeah, I think it was tipped, and then to get a tip on a 2-man rush. Like,
yeah,
come on. Oh, Mel Kiper is in tears right now.
Yeah. Mel Kiper shaking his fists.
I mean, those safeties were not on the screen during the original broadcast of the play. So,
yeah, I mean, it would have been very difficult, even if it was a clean pass to Rashad White. All right, Jake Camarda, can he pin the Bucs? Well, pin the Broncos deep. Fair catch at the 9. Yeah, well done.
Camarda fixed at the expense of the rest of the team.
Yeah. They got their special teams woes done. Farouk Kawab says, bring up Luke Haggard.
Haggard looked good in the preseason.
Lucas Pettis says, Cody is trash. Some bold words.
He has a couple of high-profile losses every week, and they hurt the team. They definitely hurt him on this drive.
Says, I'd actually say he play.
Yeah, not at right. Like people call him for Elijah Klein, who's never played right tackle in his life outside of a couple of snaps in preseason week 3, or week 2. It's beyond me. Like it is such a different position.
Hughes 44 says need pressure sack this rookie. Yeah, I mean the Bucs' only scoring drive came off of a turnover, and it just very much feels like the only way they get back into this game is with another. I mean, obviously a turnover here, you're right at the 10-yard line. Asking a lot, though. And the Broncos have been aggressive, you know? Like, they've ran it from time to time, but it's mostly been Bo Nix that Bo Nix has probably been – him and Cortland Sutherland have really been the two kind of standout players, at least on the offensive side. King Count says, Matt doesn't show physicality in the run game, often flat-footed in pass sets. Farouk Kawab says, of course, we regress this type of play right before Brady comes back. Yeah, everywhere Tom Brady is gone, it's been like a crappy game. Obviously, week 1, he did Cowboys-Broncos, then he did Cowboys-Browns. Week 2 did Saints-Cowboys. I think he's got Cowboys-Ravens today, but already putting his imprint on the Bucs game. Bo Nix dropping back. JTS is coming. That
was deflected.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was just thinking, like, could have been a situation where maybe a defensive back was in the area. JTS so close to that impact play we were just talking about.
Yeah, and he beat Matt Pert on that. Pert is their 6th, their swing tackle. Oh, they might have been in heavy with
Yeah, potentially.
I was wondering if Garrett Bowles had suffered some injury we didn't know about.
All right, nice job by the Bucs run stopping defense here.
Don McCollum. And outside of getting beat on I want to say the second play of the game, McCollum's had another solid game.
Yeah, Yeah, kind of like, again, similar to Jamel Dean last week getting beat on the big play to Josh Reynolds early, or not Josh Reynolds, Jameson Williams. He got beat by Josh Reynolds this week. And then, coming out and playing well after Jamel Dean. That was last week. Zion's kind of doing that this week when he got beat by Josh Reynolds and then making plays. All right, third down. Nick throwing down the field. Oh, Bucs get the stop. Obviously, would have liked a little bit more. But nice job by the Bucs forcing a 3 and out early.
And this is one area where TKras has really impressed me so far in his short career, is he just understands when to get extra depth when he's on an underneath zone and become competitive with the ball. First play that I noticed it was in the preseason against Cincinnati, where he was on an underneath and just got a ton of depth to defend a corner route against Jermaine Burton. Went for a defensive pass interference on that because he ran through Burton. But then last week, similar play against the Lions, wrote about it for Pewter Report, where the Bucs were playing cover 6 and Tyke was on the cover 4 side of that. And he notices a corner route from the slot developing, and he immediately abandons his flat responsibility, gains depth, and helps to prevent the would-be touchdown on that. So there you saw it again here with this last play against the Broncos, where he's getting a ton of depth from an underneath zone and competitively playing the ball.
He's a gamer. And again, I think like him just playing in one spot has really helped out his game a lot too.
Yep.
Bucs have pretty good field position. They'll have it on the 40 with the chance to get back into this ball game. Still a lot of time. Narav says, Yaya needs to use the right tackle as a dumbbell and toss him on the way to Knicks.
Yeah, I was looking at Yaya.
Come on, Evans. We need big plays.
Yeah, I was looking at Yaya on that last drive, and looked like they were running him on some loops, late loops too, almost as if he was becoming the contain player because Knicks has hurt them with his feet so far this game. 5 carries, 21 yards, and a touchdown. So almost like Yaya was responsible for Knicks if he tried to scramble.
Malcolm Harvey says, can McMillan get involved? Yeah, I'm a little surprised we've barely seen any of Jalen McMillan. I mean, that's been the case through 2 games, but I thought eventually he'd have to break out. King Count says, pony, please. I hope so. They've had their most success in the pony package. Kells 808 says, Cohen needs to open the playbook more. They may have to. But again, a touchdown here, and they're right back in the game. So, to keep the puns going, hold your horses, everybody. Baker will start this drive in shotgun. Mike Evans to the left side in the slot. Got a couple of receivers to the right. Otten goes in motion. They hand it off. Nice cut by Bucky, who gets about 4 yards.
Yeah, Otten missed his crack. Looked like he didn't know the play. Baker had to yell at him at least 2 times to come across that formation. And then it looked like he was on the split block, and it just looked like he targeted the wrong player and left somebody completely unblocked.
2nd and 6 for Tampa Bay. 10:40 to go in the third quarter. Bucky still in the backfield. Baker in shotgun. Looking. Has to dump it off to Bucky, who makes the catch. Heads up the field. Got something out of nothing there. Looks like Baker just needs 1 extra second. A couple of times he's really wanted to kind of gear up and make the big play and just hasn't been able to.
Yeah.
But credit to Denver's pass rush. I mean, they haven't made it easy for Baker today. Third and 2 at midfield. They're going to run it with Bucky. He gets up the middle for a first down, tries to cut, kind of bumps into Jalen McMillan, but that's a first down. I like the call there from Liam Cohen to get the first down. They're showing a video of Bo Nix and Bucky Irving, obviously teammates at Oregon, getting to see each other. Both having a pretty good game. 59 rushing yards for Bucky Irving as he remains on the field. They're going to run it again with Bucky. And he gets stopped for no gain.
Yeah. Looked like Jalen McMillan just wasn't competitive on his block, getting thrown to the ground.
Farouk Kawab says, Bucky brings that juice. He does. There's some electricity to Bucky Irving in his game. Cincy Kid says, Bucky drank his Celsius today.
That's right. Oh, looks
Baker
like
can't. Listen, I get that Baker had some great scrambling moments, but he's also going to learn when to just throw the ball away.
Yeah, the right side of that concept was fully open. Godwin on a little hitch, and he just pre-snap. It looked like he thought that the left side would be his better option, and just didn't get to the right side of his progression.
Sacks have just killed the Bucs in this game. Baker throwing over the middle, dropped by Chris Godwin. Well, maybe not dropped, but incomplete nonetheless. And Bucs are going to have to punt again.
He was in a really weird position when the ball arrived.
Yeah.
Almost looked like he was doing a pirouette. I was hoping to get a replay of that.
Yeah. Brian Shaw says Baker, LMFAO. Ed Gain. He needs a design run play for him. M says, we ain't winning this game. Brian Sheffer says, the O-line is not good today. That was too fast.
What a punt.
Ooh, that's going to get a good bounce. Tavier Thomas right there. Still letting it roll. That's going to go down to the 6-yard line. A Buccaneer bounce on the punt from Jake Camarda. And field position's been very important in the second half. A frustrated Buccaneers send their defense back out on the field. 7:49 to go. They trail by 2 scores. And separately, Justin Herbert is leaving the game. Taylor Heineke coming in for the Chargers at quarterback. It's probably another good time to remind everybody about walk-ons and their game day specials. I know things aren't going well for the Bucs, but one thing that could cheer you up is heading on over to walk-ons. They have several locations in the Tampa Bay area, 3 to be exact. That includes in Wesley Chapel and in Midtown in my area. Take advantage of some of the great deals that they have with pints of Michelob Ultra, Bud Light, and Budweiser. And, of course, their happy hour deals during the week. Maybe you want to watch some Monday Night Football tomorrow. There are 2 games tomorrow, so you get to watch a lot of foosball. You can go to happy hour from 3 p.m. till close. They have it all day on Tuesday, which includes $5 Tito's. I know I'm a fan of Tito's myself. Their starters are great, their appetizers, and a lot of fantastic options. So check out walk-ons. Go for their happy hour deals. Go later this afternoon. Maybe you want to forget about the Bucs game or celebrate a comeback win by the Bucs over at walk-ons. Brian Hernandez says, O-line is getting worked. Our D-line is terrible. Trenches have not been friendly to the Bucs today.
Yep.
Tom says Baker seems hurt. I don't necessarily see that. I just think not the best game from Baker.
Yeah, and the Broncos have had a good game plan for him after all the scrambling he's done these first couple of games. They've been very disciplined in their rush lanes. And when he starts to break out to try and find some room with his legs, there's always someone there to kind of cap him. So I honestly, like, Sean Payton and Vance Joseph have just outcoached Liam Cohen and Todd Bowles. Yeah.
Yeah. Michael, a Pewter Report YouTube channel member, thank you, Michael, says, at least we got an answer this game. Shame it's the answer to why not us? Yeah, I'm a little surprised they haven't gone with like any running back screens or anything yet. Offensively.
But one of the things that you are seeing Denver just do on this play that I think that the Bucs could do, in addition to the screens that you just mentioned, they just move the pocket, right? Like, if you're worried about a pass rush, move the pocket, right? Like, it slows guys down. Use the screen, like you mentioned. They got a really nice screen, tunnel screen.
Chris Godwin,
on the first play of the second half. You know, there are options that I think Cohen needs to explore.
2nd and 9 for Denver. Yeah, as I have a calm on a blitz. Oh, man. Smart play by Bo Nix, just grounds it. And yeah, Josh, to your point, like, the Bucs offensively just keep dropping back, and it's killed their drives with Baker getting sacked. And like, there just hasn't been adjustments that I honestly was confident that Liam Cohen would make, but now not so much. By the way, Saints just blocked a punt against the Eagles, so still only a 3-0 game, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, it looks like somebody's learned how to stop their run game, and it completely put their pass game in a blender. You've got to stop that.
Oh, boy. Terrible job once again by the Bucs. Cannot get off the field on a 3rd and 9. And, you know, now the Bucs probably aren't going to get the ball back until at least 3 minutes in the third quarter. So, going to be a lot of no huddle. Yeah. It's too slow. Missed tackle.
Yeah.
Jamel Dean's made a lot of tackles in this game, but he's missed a lot of tackles too.
Yeah, had a pressure there.
Yeah. Another 8-yard gain. Just rough sledding. Second and 2 for Denver. And they're just slowly dicing and picking apart this Bucs defense. Like, there's not they've thrown it like intermediate levels, they've thrown it short levels. The run game, like the Broncos run game has been better than the Bucs run game. Well, they did have some explosive runs by Bucky, but the Broncos run game has been a little more consistent.
Not really. I mean, 10 carries for 28 yards by their running backs. Bo Nix, I think, has inflated that a little bit with his 5 for 21, but they're just getting diced apart with the short to intermediate passing game.
1st and 10. Nix to his left side. It's caught. Isian somehow makes the tackle. Now Humphrey getting in the face of Isian.
Yeah, Isian ran really close to drawing a penalty there.
King Count says he'd be better off just holding every play. 2nd and 6. No pass rush. Caught. 3rd and short. for co-op says Sam Darnold. Sheesh. Yeah, he's pretty good.
There's a first down.
QB sneak. Playing the same hits again. Just trying to think. If they could hold the Broncos to a field goal, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. All right, so you could still make it a two-possession game if you hold the Broncos to a field goal. The Bucs would have to get 2-point conversions on their next two Well, they'd have to score a touchdown, which has been difficult to do today.
Oh, Nick. And you got, oh my God.
Wow.
This is just ridiculous.
Tackling has been awful.
That should have been a strip stack. How that wasn't a strip stack is beyond me. Anthony Nelson.
I mean, outside of Jake Camarda and Bucky Irving,
yeah,
like they haven't done one thing right today. Not one thing. Like you would think that, like the Bucs look gassed. They look like a team that plays in a cold weather city and is coming to Tampa to play.
Yeah.
Like, do the Broncos train in Tampa this training camp? Because that's what it looks like, man. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Yeah, the Bucs aren't going to get the ball back until the fourth quarter. And the game might be done at this point.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, it looks like Denver is going to score a touchdown. Just
yeah,
put them out of their misery.
I mean, the Bucs have not proven – they have not proven at all that they can kind of get those stops.
This is just embarrassing.
Yeah. Kenny Cakes says, Matt, you're 100. They looked gassed. I'm telling you, they bought their own hype. Now they got punched in the face. They certainly got punched in the face.
Oh, yeah. Is that a pick?
Oh, tip pass. Bucs had a chance at a alteration of this game, and nope. Nothing. I wonder who got that at the line of scrimmage. Jamel. Just a rough game for Jamel Dean. Because if anything, that at least just keeps points off the board.
Yeah.
Tyke Smith. Wow. Big play.
Tyke's had a fairly decent game.
Yes. Yeah. Again, the big stop here would make it a two-possession game still. Asking for a lot, but it would make it a two-possession game. .48 seconds to go. 3rd and 14. Oh, JTS was offsides.
Yep. Tried to time the snap count.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Just another silly mistake. Bucks Basement with the $2 super chat. Thank you very much. Says, ready for Dean and Nelson to be off the team. I mean, I think Nelson's fine. He screwed up there.
He's had a terrible game. He's had a terrible game.
I'm just saying overall, like he's their 3rd, 4th string outside linebacker. I don't think it's like overly killing the team for the long haul. But Dean and his contract, potentially. Again, let's not overreact. It's one bad game. It's not it's not an indictment of what the whole season's going to look like.
Dean played very well last week.
Yeah. So now a much more manageable 3rd and 9, especially with no pass rush that the Bucs have gotten today. Now Yaya jumps off sides. And a missed tackle. Okay, we got that one. Right? I mean, that was offsides. What else? What else are you supposed to say? Like, he did the exact same mirror image of what JTS just did the play before. Yeah, Yaya's angry. But, I mean, he has no one to be angry at besides himself. The Bucs just went 3rd and 14 to 3rd and 4.
3rd and 4.
And that's going to be the end of the half. That's going to be – I bet we're going to have a fired-up TKras when he comes on because –
oh, man.
There's literally nothing positive we can say. Like, what's the best thing we can say? Chase McLaughlin hasn't missed a field goal because he hasn't had any attempts or even an extra point. Well, he had 1 extra point attempt. So
Jake Camarda has been a stud today. That's what we can say. They fixed their punter problem at the expense of the rest of the team.
Raging Brisket says, so humiliating. Isaac Muniz says, horrible coaching. Drew Bowles last year. Back-to-back offsides. Haha. Oh, man. Lucas Pettis, at least a loss to an AFC team. Yeah, I mean, Scott and I spoke about this on the Pewter pregame show earlier today. Like, if you are going to get a loss, you would rather have it against an AFC team because of tiebreakers and things of that nature. But at the same time, you don't want a loss like this. You don't want a loss like this to the Denver Broncos. So I think the only thing that could solve the woes of Bucs fans right now would be going on a vacation, probably the Buccaneers vacation, or Buccaneers cruise. So we're going to talk about the Buccaneers cruise, and then we're going to bring on TKras to get his thoughts on the game.
We're on the Bucs cruise. Of course, we're playing pool volleyball.
Hey, we on the Bucs cruise, of course. Anytime I say Tampa, they will say Bay. Tampa! Hey!
Tampa!
Hey!
Tampa! Hey!
We're on the Bucs cruise. Of course, I've got my Super Bowl 37 hardware. What do you think?
We're on the Bucs cruise, and of course we had a pirate night. Arr! Arr!
That's right. Join the Bucs cruise coming up in March 7th through the 10th on the Celebrity Silhouette ship. It takes place out of Fort Lauderdale and visits Key West and Bimini in the Bahamas. Last year's cruise had Rashad White, Luke Gedeke, Kate Otten, Jamel Dean, Gene Deckerhoff, Warren Sapp, Super Bowl 37 MVP Dexter Jackson, and confirmed for this year is Yaya Diaby and Jordan Whitehead. There's going to be photo and autograph opportunities, special player interviews, a water volleyball challenge, Bucs trivia contest, fun games, and more. So reserve your cabin now for the 2025 Tampa Bay Bucs cruise. You could do that on TampaBayBucsCruise.com or give them a call at 1-800-975-7112. That's Tampa Bay Bucs Cruise or 1-800-975-7112 as we start the fourth quarter with the Broncos throwing an incomplete pass and having to settle for a field goal. We are joined by TKras, a.k.a. Tom Krasniqi, the host of The Drive, which you can see Monday through Friday, and also hosting the Overtime Show, which will take place right after the Bucs finish up against the Broncos. TKras, thank you for joining us. Let's just get down to it. What are you most frustrated about with this game so far?
Guys, good to be with you. I wish I was in a cruise right about now in order to avoid watching this. This is terrible. 23-7 now early in the fourth quarter. I just don't see much hope for this game. And hey, guys, as you know, in the NFL, man, the minute you let your guard down, that's when you get tripped up. And it happens every week in this league, and it's about to happen to the Bucs here. Just defensively, it blows my mind because if you look at all the numbers, and I know you guys do, I know you do it, Matt, I definitely know you do it, Josh, you know that Bo Nix is not a guy who's going to push the ball down the field. And what's frustrating to me is all these underneath passes, especially the ones to Cortland Sutton right in front of Jamel Dean. How many times? 3, 4, 5, 6 times. The penalties on the fourth down play, Anthony Nelson and KJ Britt had the runner dead to rights, and they allow him to get to the outside. That's the one thing you can't let him do. Don't let him get to the outside, and they did. It's just frustrating, man. It's just the poor execution. And look, I know Todd Bowles doesn't take anybody lightly, and he said it about 5 times this week. This is on the players, okay? And a lot of people will come out and criticize Todd Bowles. He didn't get his team ready to play, this, that, and the other thing. I think this is on the players. I think a poorly executed plays offensively and defensively, and that's why the Buccaneers are trailing.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, there have been good performances have been few and far between. Tell me, what did you think about the Bucs' offensive game plan and then the execution from the team? Just much like the defense, to me, it looked like everybody's just kind of running in mud outside of a few creative plays to get Bucky Irving the ball with some space.
Yeah, without question, Josh. Look, that first drive of the third quarter, I mean, they had some momentum. Yeah. Godwin, 13 yards off the screen, the first play, and then Cade Otton, 13 yards. Then all of a sudden, Baker is sacked. And then there was another pressure right after that. And both plays were because of the right guard, Cody Malk, who has not played well. He's not having a good year. He's not playing well. And if this continues to progress, the Bucs are going to have to take a long look at that position. Elijah Klein should be warming up in the bullpen at this point. And Cody Malk is not giving them what he should be giving them at this point. I think that's a problem.
On the one hand, those drives have just completely killed any momentum that Tampa Bay had. And on the flip side, Bo Nix has been standing around all day, having time to throw. How much do the Bucs miss Vita Vea? I know they need to get it done with their edge rushers, but I think not having Vita Vea as well has really been a true difference in this game.
There's no doubt, Matt. They miss Vita because the Broncos have a little bit of room in the run game, but they also miss Kalijah Kancey too. That's a guy who's a disruptor. Him playing next to Vita Vea, I think they're a perfect complement to one another. And obviously, Kancey hasn't played. I don't know if Vita's going to be back next week. You know, the Eagles have a really good offensive line. They just scored on a Saquon Barkley 65-yard touchdown as they just took the lead in New Orleans. A really interesting game there. But they miss those guys. This is the game. Like last week, I don't know. I still don't know how the Buccaneers went in there and beat the Lions with all those injuries. A lot of young guys played big. Jared Goff did not play well. This week, Bo Nix looks like an entirely different quarterback than what we've seen over the first 2 weeks. And you got to give Sean Payton a lot of credit. He coached him up well this week. He's not making the big mistakes. That corner blitz by Zion McCollum, you know, last week or the week before, he might have taken a safety on that play. Dirts it, throws it into the ground. So the kid is learning. We all know he had some talent, and today I think he's starting to realize that talent and potential.
Yeah, TKras, I think you made a great point with Peyton getting him ready, because one of the big issues with Nix the first 2 weeks was just with Peyton, his play calls are so long and extensive that they were down to 2 to 3 seconds when the ball was getting snapped, and Nix didn't have enough time to really survey the defense to really see what was going on and be able to prepare for it. You can see in this game, they're regularly lined up with 12, 13 seconds left, and Nix is having time to see how the Bucs are bringing pressure, be ready for it, be ready to make those smart plays like dirting the ball or finding his hot read. So I think that's an excellent point that you made, and it shows that Peyton's willing to evolve and say, all right, I need to kind of shorten this down for the kid so I can give him more time to see what's going on in front of him.
Without question. And Matt Ryan made this point on the Manning cast, and he was spot on. The way to get a quarterback in a rhythm when he's trying to learn a new offense is, you know, quicken the pace, get him into that rhythm. And when you play 2 minutes, like it's standard plays from day one of the install, that you can run. And, with each snap, especially that first drive, guys, set the tone for the whole day. Because Bo Nix came out, boom, boom, boom. He hits Cortland Sutton on the back shoulder. He hits a big play down the field to Reynolds, who beats McCollum. He was 4 of 4 on that drive, and it's like, wow, this is not the quarterback we saw the first 2 weeks. So I think after that first drive, I said to myself, you know what? This might get interesting. And it hasn't gotten a whole lot better, honestly.
Yeah, Bucs moving the ball a little bit now, completed a pass to Mike Evans, followed by Kate Otten for a first down as well. Just curious for you, TKras, you look at the first 2 games, a lot of things to like about what Tampa Bay did to start 2-0. Do you look at this game as an outlier where they just kind of have to flush everything away if they don't mount a comeback? Or are these concerns that could kind of continue to flow throughout the next couple of weeks against, honestly, tougher opponents?
I think it's a little bit of both, Matt. If they don't get guys healthy, the next 7 games, and I talked about it this morning, dude, it's not a walk in the park. The Eagles are winning now. You got the Eagles. You're going to have the Saints. You're playing the Falcons twice, Baltimore, San Francisco, Kansas City. How many of those 7 games, like if the Bucs play the way they did today, they're not going to win any of those games.
Right.
So they need to get some healthy guys back. Last week, maybe that was a false sense of security. Hey, without all these injured guys, we went to Detroit and stunned the Lions. And maybe that got into some guys' heads a little bit. They're on social media. They see everything. Everyone was talking up the Bucs, the power rankings. They're 6, 7. They're all in the top 10. So it's perfectly natural. It's the humanization of it all. When, you hear somebody telling you did a good job, some people will kind of rest on that. Some people don't, but that's just the way life is.
Yeah. Last one for me, TKras, is, among a lot of just ick from the Bucs all around, Zion McCollum looks to have another solid game. Some pass breakups. He was able to push Cortland Sutton out of the end zone before he could get his 2 feet in. He got burned on the second play of the game, but his development, not just here today, but obviously had a great game against Detroit just here in year 3. What are your thoughts on McCollum overall?
I think he's turning into a heck of a corner, and he's exactly the kind of player that Todd Bowles wants: tall, lanky, athletic, can play in all different types of schemes from man-to-man to zone. His tackling has got infinitely better, and he talked about it this week. He's way more confident now than he was last year or the year before. Much more confident player because he knows he's got the talent and the wherewithal to go out there and make some plays. And, I'm pleased for him. And that's another guy, Sam Houston, 5th-round pick.
Yeah.
I mean, you can draft guys, but what the Bucs have done really well is they're drafting guys that fit their system, and they're developing guys as well. So he's a great story. And
well, we'll see if the Bucs can. He gets sacked on this play. I was about to say, you've been a good luck charm since you came on. The Bucs have been moving the football, and then as soon as I think it, Baker Mayfield gets sacked. But we'll see if they can kind of scratch and claw their way back in. It's still a 2-possession game. TKras, thank you so much for joining us here in the fourth quarter. You have the overtime show coming up next. Please tell us where everybody can check it out. As Rashad White can't get the first down.
Well, I appreciate it, guys. The overtime show will be on the air right after the end of the Buccaneers game, 95.3 FM, the mighty AM 620. Once the Rays game ends, we're going to be on all platforms. Post-game reaction, my thoughts, phone calls, Baker Mayfield and Todd Bowles pressers, all on the overtime show immediately after the game ends on WDAE. So check it out. I appreciate it.
Will do. Thank you, TKras. Talk to you soon.
Boys, always a pleasure. Keep up the great work. Thanks.
Thank you very much. All right, thanks to TKras for joining us. Let's see if Bucs are going for it on 4th down here. Crucial moment in the game. Broncos send the blitz. Baker's going to step up and scramble. Can't get enough, and another drive is stalled for Tampa Bay. That may just be the death blow. Baker tried, he tried, and he tried, but to no avail. Ugh. What else can you say, Josh? Just
Yeah. I think that's my last question to TKras. Amidst all this ick, you got 3 good performances, and I mean, look, the pass protection has been just absolutely horrid. And the Broncos have exploited it. We knew they were going to come in and blitz. The Bucs should have known that they were going to come in and blitz. They had to have better answers, rolling pockets, screen plays, and they just haven't rolled it out. I think this has been a fairly poor performance from Liam Cohen in terms of preparing for the blitz, the offensive line and executing blitz pickups. But at the same time, Baker's got to get the ball out. He is not the athlete that he thinks he is with these scrambles. Like he's got to put the ball in the air and let his playmakers try and make some plays.
Daniel Gomez says, today is not our day. We suck. Are you a fan of The Office?
Oh, yeah.
Anytime I hear someone be like, we suck or you suck, I think of, it's like an early episode when the Stanford branch transfers to where the show is in Scranton. And Michael's like trying to think of a team building process to get everybody together. And he's like, oh, someone slashed off our cars in the parking lot, like our tires. But they left a note on my windshield and says, you guys suck. You will never work together and build a great team, and you suck. And just like the way that Michael delivers the line. You will never overcome the other branches, and you suck. And they're like, wait, why didn't they slash your car?
Oh gosh. That show, going back, like the very first episode, you can see he's trying to play the character like Ricky Gervais did in the original. But then he humanized the character so much from episode 2 on and made it infinitely better, in my opinion. I just don't think it would have worked with him being a purposeful jerk as opposed to just a lovable loser.
Yeah, apparently they're coming out with an Australian show as well, based on The Office.
And I think they're doing a reboot as well with a completely different cast.
I hope not.
It's like, now
the Bucs are not stopping the run. All right, this one's over, folks. Desert Dog 2K says, you will never work together to revenge us, Michael Scott. Honestly, the Bucs could use a Michael Scott pump-up speech. You can never protect Baker Mayfield, and you suck.
So,
hey, you know what?
This would be a perfect opportunity for the Dundies. Like, most ground traveled today goes to, like, Levante David chasing down things from behind.
Right. The missed tackle award goes to Jamel Dean and KJ Britt or something like that.
Because you're always missing those tackles.
Yeah. The You Can't Do That award goes to Joe Tryanchenko and Yaya Diaby for both going offsides. Yeah, if you guys have any Dundee award ideas, let's...
I love it.
Yeah. Hold me closer, Tiny Dundee.
We got to pitch to Scott that we rename Most Disappointing to the Bucs Dundies.
Yeah. Well, I still have the idea. We'll see how the season goes. But last year, I really wanted to do a Bucs Festivus, where it's like, I got a lot of problems with you people, and you're going to hear about it. And we just have an episode talking about all the problems with the Bucs and our biggest complaints with the Bucs, and we have a Festivus about it. The You Can't Coach award is time. Brian Hernandez says Broncos MVP is Todd Bowles.
Oh man.
So here's my only problem. Like Elaine Abraham says, our coach is the problem. You guys don't want to admit it. Here's my problem is so are we just supposed to completely, Todd Bowles is mad. Todd Bowles. He's probably mad too. Levante David's mad.
They weren't lined up correctly.
So are we just going, great play by Zion McCollum. Are we just going to completely forget about what Todd Bowles did last week and what he drew up and the defense getting all the stops against the Lions? You have to look at the good with what they did last week but also take into consideration how they just had a terrible performance today and figure out that they're somewhere in the middle, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What really grinds my gears, Brian Gomez, TGHT. Okay, 43-yard attempt to make it a 3-possession game. The kick is up, and Will Lutz drains another field goal. All right, let's do a stats update, shall we? Baker Mayfield is 19 of 27 for 132 yards. He has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. But the big stat, especially in the second half, but for the whole game, Baker has been sacked 5 times. Rushing-wise, Bucky Irving, 7 rushing attempts, 59 yards. That's an average of 8.4. Obviously, a lot of that is skewed because he had a 32-yard run. Rashad White, 6 of 17. That is a 2.8 average. Receiving-wise, Chris Godwin has the most receiving yards at 45 on 5 receptions and a touchdown. Cade Otton has the most receptions at 6.
That's a career. Ties a career high for him.
Yeah, congrats to Cade. Mike Evans, 2 for 17. So Patrick Surtain getting the better of that matchup. Only 3 targets for Mike as well. Rashad White, 4 for 14. Payne Durham, 1 for 8. Bucky Irving, 1 for 4. And Trey Palmer, 1 target, no catches. Logan Hall has a fumble recovery. Who had the forced fumble? Was that Levante?
It was Levante.
Yes. And Jamel Dean has 12 tackles in this game.
Because he's allowed
12 the only tackle for loss is by Tyke Smith. Obviously, no sacks for the Bucs. Smith also has a pass breakup. Zion McCollum, 2 pass breakups. JTS also credited with 1. And same with CJ Brewer. So, yeah, the stats, man. Wild.
Yeah. And then I'll just follow that up with a quick tour around the NFL. The Giants look like they are going to move to 1-2 on the season as they are beating the Browns 21-7. The Colts
big for survivor pools.
Yep. Colts have a 14-3 lead over the Bears. The Vikings, who just absolutely look amazing with Sam Darnold at the helm, up 24-7 against the Texans. The Eagles are winning a slugfest against the Saints 7-6. The Saints just got a field goal in the 4th quarter to bring it to within 1 point. The Steelers are beating the Chargers 20-10. And the Packers are up 27-14 on the Titans. So a few upsets in there.
Yeah.
And the Vikings really
Lucas Batiste. Lucas Batiste, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Dean needs to take his money and give it to Zion. Looking that way a little bit. And Hammy Actual, thanks for the $9.99 super chat. Says, guys, relax. 1 loss does not mean Bowles needs to be fired. This time last week, we had him up on our shoulders, Rudy style. Bucky needs to start. Rashad is bad. It is what it is. Yeah, I agree with your overall thoughts about Todd Bowles. Everyone wants to overreact to a bad loss. It's a long season. Sometimes you have these moments. You wish that you don't. But, the Bucs got smacked around today. They're going to go back to the drawing board. They're not as bad as a team. They're not as bad as they look right now. They're clearly better than that. So let's not freak out about Bowles just yet. Again, when he had a big game last week. So I agree with you, Hammy Actual. Wouldn't mind some garbage time, stats to Mike Evans and stuff like that. And he's looking for Mike. Nope, that's Chris.
You're willing it into.
Yeah. Well, it worked on his 2nd touchdown in week 1. Elaine Abraham, thanks for the $4.99 super chat. Says, can't ignore what he did last week, but he needs to yell at these players. This is a horrible performance, and I don't believe the players were ready.
Hey, that's fair.
It's a fair thought, sure. Todd is he's just never going to be that rah-rah guy. As Baker avoids being sacked, he's fell on his own, then gets sacked. Damn, that would have helped with his rushing yards. Sacked by the turf monsters, Brian S. says. Todd's whole thing
That's
for
just a
being
four-man rush,
even
Brett.
keeled, yeah. Todd's whole thing for being even keel is like everyone else is going to freak out. So, like, someone needs to be calm in it all. So they run it with Bucky Irving on 2nd and 11. He gets close to a first down. Desert Dog 2K with $1.99 super chat. Thank you. Says, cleanest uniform, Dundee, goes to Bo Nix. Hardly touched. Very funny. I like that.
I don't know if it's the Bucs are trying to save Shaw's. It was his hamstring, right? He tweaked his hamstring last week.
Groin injury.
Right.
Yeah.
Or if this is something else, but Bucky's basically been out there for almost the entire second half.
Yeah, it's a good observation for sure. Baker somehow gets the pass off to Bucky Irving. Nice creative play by Baker.
Yeah, and I'll say this has been a bad game for Tristan Wirfs. I mean, that was an unblocked rush off his side. So that may have been a communication error. It could have been something that Baker had to pick up. But he's been beaten a couple different times today. One for a sack. This has been an un-Tristan Wirfs-like game.
I think that's a good point. Devontae Smith has a concussion. Yikes. He's got 14 points for me. That's fine. Baker looking, finds Bucky.
Oh, he's creating.
Oh!
He's still creating.
Whoop! Bucky went whoop and whoop and well done, Bucky. Nucky if you Bucky.
He broke Alex Singleton's ankles.
And the good news for Bucs fans, you said it before, Josh, the Eagles are up 7-6 on the Saints. So,
yeah. So they will remain tied atop the division. They do have a strong test next week with the Eagles coming into that. That is if the Eagles continue to win.
Yes.
Trying to see what the Saints schedule calls for next week. They will be facing the Falcons.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
All right, so Bucky needed a break. So let's see. Oh, and the Broncos, Zach Allen, their best interior defensive lineman, looked like he was shaken up. So Rashad is back out there.
Okay, interesting. And now they go to Jalen McMillan. Hey, welcome to the party. As G the OG. I like that. Says J-Mac sighting. Kieran Budd, a Pewter Report YouTube channel member, says the next 3 games are against Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, and Alvin Kamara as Baker throws down the field.
There's a penalty. That's a penalty.
By Mike Evans, but there's a flag on the play. They're just going to have so much fun against this defense.
I mean, that was a tweet about, or that was a comment about running backs.
Yeah, like the Bucs have been good stopping the run.
Yeah, I mean, Tyler.
Oh, well, except for the one big play.
Yeah.
Bucs do get the benefit of a pass interference penalty.
Denver's top
Mike
two
should have caught
rushers.
that.
He should have, yeah. Denver's top 2 rushers have 10 carries for 19 yards. Now their number 3 guy, Tyler Beatty, has that 43-yarder, but outside of that, 4 for 14. Like, it's not a run defense issue. It's their pass defense looks, outside of Zion McCollum today, has looked atrocious. And it'll be interesting to go back to the tape and see exactly, besides Jamel Dean, who's had a rough day.
Baker to Rashad White makes the catch. Does a good job of not just going out of bounds and Tried to get a couple of yards, so I think got down to the 5-yard line.
And got out of bounds to technically stop the clock for anybody who's still holding out hope.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, got to keep as much time as he possibly can. Baker trying to scramble, just sacked. Just
dropping his eyes.
Third and goal.
And he ran into that. Justin School was fine on that.
Baker. Bakey. So 4 down territory for the Bucs. Cade Otton loses the football. That's a fumble. The Broncos go the other way. That's Jones, who I believe had the interception before. Tristan Wirfs misses. Mike Evans will get credited with a tackle. And that is officially the dagger. Yeah, that's bad. Just an awful game.
Yep. Fire the week into the sun.
Yeah. Woo-wee, my props were horrible today. I think they all lost. But I was 5-1 to start, so.
Yeah. I've been on what's the opposite of a heater?
Cold streak.
I've been on tilt, if you will, ever since we made our friendly wager.
So what else you want to bet on, then? I need to get right.
Kick the man while he's down.
Thanks to Hammy Action for this $1.99 super chat, who says, glad these happened before Philly. We need this. Yeah, I mean, I think everyone kind of needs a wake-up call from time to time.
Don't need a wake-up call if you just stay awake.
Yeah, true. Just a reminder to everybody, we will have the Pewter Post Game Show coming up after this. Myself and Scott Reynolds. We will break down all that was horrible from this game, but there were some good things, like we have a new Pewter Report YouTube channel member. Shout out to Carl Gajardo. Welcome. Very happy to have you. We also have a $49.99 super chat from Trustin Vorbeck. Thank you so much, Trustin, for the kind super chat. Who says, just want to say all my parlays missed, but I love you guys. Baker's still going to win us a Super Bowl this year. Love you guys. Thanks for all the positivity. Sorry, your bets did not hit. Mine did not hit either. Just a terrible performance from the Buccaneers. But there are more bets to be made, and a lot more football to be played. I didn't even try to make that rhyme, but it did. And the Bucs aren't as bad as what they showed today. Let's just chalk it up to an awful game. That's all it's got to be looked at.
Yeah, I mean, cornerback play is fickle. I don't expect Jamel Dean to be this bad in the going forward. And the Bucs are with the defense is without their 3 best players. Let's just put that out there right away. You add Antoine Winfield Jr., Kalijah Cansey, and Vita Vea back to this defense over the next several weeks. You are going to see the defense get not incrementally better, exponentially better. All right. So there's that on that side of the ball. I think on the offensive side of the ball, they've got to take a hard look because the O-line play has been terrible. Baker's play has been terrible. He's been sacked, I want to say 6 times now. Is it 6? If I remember correctly.
Like today's game or overall?
Yeah. 7 times. He's been sacked 7 times today. At least 2, probably 3 of them are on Baker for dropping his eyes and kind of running into a sack. That very last one where he just ran into the edge defender. Justin School had it played perfectly, was running the guy up the arc, and he just ran into him. Baker's got to take some ownership over that. The offensive line has been atrocious. I am not trying to make excuses for them. I am pointing out the bad in both places. So, they've got to decide whether Bucky's their primary going forward, and then how do they just scheme up better pass protection?
All valid and make a ton of sense. So not much more I need to comment about. Tristan Vorbeck, thanks again for this $4.99 super chat. Says, we need Winfield and Vea back now. I definitely think Vita Vea, but unfortunately, that one he might be out longer than compared to, since Winfield's already been out for a little bit. And also thank you to Trustin for this $1.99 super chat who says, school sucks. Hey, you super chat us. We'll play whatever comment you want. So we hear you.
School hasn't really been the problem today. Cody Malk's allowed at least 1 or 2. Tristan Wirfs has gotten beaten. The left side of the line's allowed a ton of pressure. Like I fully expect when I go back to the tape tomorrow, like Justin School may be one of their better offensive linemen today. And again, that last sack.
That's why the tape's important.
Yep, that last sack, that wasn't on School. Baker ran into
I agree. By the way, the Saints just scored a touchdown. They now regained the lead. So sorry, Bucs fans. Redfish, thanks for the $1.99 super chat. Says, Buck MVP performance, the guy calling the coin flip. Well, the captains do it, so yeah.
Baker? You giving Baker the MVP?
Yeah. There's 2 minutes to go in that Saints-Eagles game. So I wouldn't say the Saints just won just yet. Though the Eagles are out no AJ Brown and
no Devonta Smith.
Devonta Smith left the game with a concussion, so tough sledding for sure. But they got Saquon. Browns just fumbled the ball. Giants recovered.
And the Saints missed their 2-point conversion to try and go up 14-7. So touchdown without even a point after, and the Eagles can pull it out.
Well, so we'll have the Pewter post-game show. It will be after we speak to, Scott Reynolds, Bailey Adams, Adam Slavon are at Raymond James Stadium. As they always do, it'll be the press conference with Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield. Then we'll do the Pewter post-game show. So just check out our social medias. We'll announce when it's going on. You'll see it on our YouTube as well. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Another super chat. Thank you, Tristan Vorbeck, for the $19.99 super chat. Matty Diamonds, what do you like for the 4:00 games? Let's see.
Yeah,
I didn't really bet too. What's up?
I was gonna say, can you help me out too? Get me off of this tilt.
Yeah. I didn't really do too many bets on the 4:00 games, but I will, because if you super chat us, I'm happy to answer whatever. Honestly, I kind of like the Panthers plus 5.5. Andy Dalton.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I kind of like the under in Baltimore and Dallas. I think Dallas has a bounce back game defensively after getting torched by the Saints. And then I think you also got to remember, like, Baltimore's offensive line hasn't been great. So I kind of like the under in Baltimore, Dallas. I might sprinkle a little on like the passing yards for Dak Prescott. The over is high in Detroit and Arizona. I like a bounce back game for Detroit as well. I take the under in 49ers Rams. So those are my picks. Chiefs -3. I like that for the Sunday night game. So those would be all of my picks. We got one more super chat, then we'll end the show. Thanks to Black Gold 1999 for this 1999 super chat. It says, I do understand that this is just one game, but man, we have to generate some kind of pressure from the 4. Totally agree. Absolutely agree. The pressure's nice. It's important. It helped them win a lot. But there wasn't nearly as much pressure today, and eventually the sacks have to come home. So fully agree with that. Black Gold 1999. Hey, we appreciate all of you for following us today. We had over 1,500 people on Twitter, a lot on YouTube and Facebook as well. We know this is a tough game, but at least we could all commiserate together. So that's going to do it for us. You can follow us on all of our social media at Pewter Report. Our YouTube channel is Pewter Report TV. For Josh Capo, I'm Matt Matera saying thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week for another Pewter Gameday Show. Also got the Pewter Post Game Show coming up in a little bit. Out.